In the Valerian Sea, there's a group of islands known as the Ratokian Archipelago, or as is known to its inhabitants, the Islands of Ratoki. Ratoki is surrounded by a large stone wall built decades ago by an order of the Queen and King of Ratoki. 8 islands, each housing their own environments, religious beliefs, and cities within their respective walls, surround a central, larger island. This island is Nyling, which is where we set our scene for the day. We see many people of varying races gathering for the celebration of the heroes of Ratoki at a festival known as the Festival of Heroes. It is a clear, eliant day, which means it is roughly, September. As we kind of go through the crowd and we see a large, fairly open circular area. There are buildings of various heights that kind of make this large clearing, and set against one of these buildings, known as the Wayward Inn, is a stage. We can see various chairs set up on it, as well as a podium, and then some chairs kind of facing into it as an audience, and we see some people starting to take their seats. As we move away from this central area, we head through the streets to find what appears to be 2 individuals walking, with one of them kind of leading the way, with the other kind of looking around and appears to be taking in the scenes and stuff. The first individual we see is this wood elf man. He looks probably around the mid-30s or so, equivalent of human, yes, is the better way to phrase that. So probably around, 100 something, so an elf. And the second person we see him is a human man. Core, if you'd like to describe yourself.
Sure. So, Core is a human in his early 30s. He has kind of a lightish blue cloak over his head that covers a bushy beard and a mustache, and just a hint of glistening in his eyes as the light reflects off his glasses. He's kind of wearing a lightish oak armor, and has a tattoo of an eye with a slash directly down the center on the left hand, or left forearm. He's kind of looking around, taking in the scenes, adjusting, very much adjusting.
As you see the wood elf man kind of leading you, you are aware that this is Ennius leading you. He kind of looks back towards you and goes, any of this helping? I know the festival might have a lot of people around, so I was hoping maybe something here would jog you, but...
No, sadly, it's just a lot to take in right now, though.
That's fair. Hopefully something here. There's with talk of the great deeds done in the past. Maybe something might bring you up, but
one can hope, my friend. One can hope.
And yeah, you just see him kind of this kind of idea has been going on for the past few days of him bringing you here in hopes that something would give you any recollection of stuff, but as you've said, nothing is really helping as you kind of both make your way towards what we eventually see is that central area I talked about before, with the stage being set up where the queen will be giving her speech, and Ennius is kind of hoping this is where you might get something back, but and as you guys kind of join into the crowd that is starting to form there, we follow the streets down in another direction, and we come across this kind of it appears to be a lot of food-ish stalls, either people selling product to other people, or restaurants and stuff, and we see an individual walking through. If Flint would like to describe himself.
Okay, so I am around 7 feet tall, a really burly build. I I have auburn hair, cool blue skin, and piercing but kind gray eyes. The most notable part of my outfit is a pendant that always hangs around my neck. It depicts this sheaf of wheat tied with a green ribbon. And yeah, I'm probably just bouncing around.
And for the audience's sake as well as the characters, if you could say, what race are you playing?
I am a Furbolg.
Yes. So Furbolg and yeah, you knowing why part of the reason you came here, this is kind of the first area you checked out, but you haven't found anything related to that today.
Yeah.
In your brief kind of idea, but just being in this kind of area was like something you continued to stay around in, as it kind of you felt kind of at home with this kind of environment.
Yeah.
As you kind of walk through, keeping like kind of glance at some of the people, but as you kind of make your way towards the center as well, knowing one of the people who will be at least at the festival today. And we move away from that as we come to the final individual. We see this kind of another kind of smaller area, and we see this kind of individual. I don't know. I guess I'll let you introduce yourself and tell me what you think you'd be doing before going to the kind of speech it's having. As if Arbitrum would like to introduce himself.
Hello, my name is Arbitrium. I'm a dragonborn, a silver dragonborn with piercing black eyes, with some white specks in there. I've got silver tendrils, almost like dreadlocks, with white bits at the end. I'm wearing a dark brown cloak with a quarterstaff on my back, and I'm just shuffling a deck of cards, almost absent-mindedly.
I mean, you know one of the reasons you kind of came to the central island, at least for this, was, you know, hoping to find some sort of lead on what you've been looking into for the past few years, but nothing has come yet of that. So you've just kind of taken some, you know, peace and quiet away from that search. As you know, see a good amount of people starting to move towards where the queen will be giving her speech, and kind of join in with that, put the cards away. And we cut back to a now formed crowd around this stage. We see to the left side of the stage, there is a smaller area with a lot of bronze warforged, which most of you would know to be the I guess all of the bronze warforged were the ones that were built for the original war that happened. The silver and iron ones are the police for the most part. They were built later as kind of a police force, but since then the police force has grown to include other races due to the police captain now being not a warforged and is now a goblin woman. And then on the stage we see three chairs on one side that are currently empty, then the podium in the middle, and we see three chairs on the other side that include this goblin woman with like this large, what looks to be like a thumbtack as a sword. It is just extremely big, like it is sword size, but it's just in the shape of a thumbtack. Next to her, we see this fully bright red like plate armor with the helmet off, and we see an elven woman wearing this with this bright white sword at her side. And the final individual, we see what appears to be this like very hairy half-elf man wearing like various greens and browns. Flint, you recognize this as Fluve, one of the heads of your tribe. And you're aware that he is not a half-elf, but is actually a shifter. And the crowd kind of clears to the side as a row of three carts roll up. All of them appearing to be pulled not by horses, but the wheels kind of turning on their own. and we see the first and third cart and they have these Aasimar and Tiefling guards. It appears like decent armor, spears, or like crossbows with them. And we cut to the middle cart where we see 4 individuals. We see a purple tiefling with magenta lines going down parts of her body and these long magenta hair, wearing a black dress. That this is Queen Carrie Eluth. Sitting next to her is a pale-skinned, silver-haired man with like gold eyes, wearing a white suit. This is King Rial Eluth. Then on the other side, facing them, as this is kind of like a 2 people per side that kind of look towards the middle sort of setup, we see this purple-skinned, like a kind of lilac purple, like less dark than his mother's skin. It's kind of like a paler kind. Tiefling, like kind of magenta hair as well, but it's cut fairly short, like a little above shoulder length. And you can kind of see popping out of the back of his jacket that he's wearing is these, like, the start of like 2 feathered wings. As this is Xavier, their son, the son of the Aasimar and Tiefling. And sitting next to them is the final person. If you'd like to describe yourself, Elwyn.
I would. You see this fairly tall, warforged, feminine in nature, and most of the newer generations of warforged are made of iron and silver. She is made of this bright steel with gold accents. She has a visor of the same material that has 2 points at the top as if they are ears, and a cloak that with 2 feathered offsets around where her ears would be. And the length of the cape looks a lot more like feathered. She looks very also functional. And she is just sitting very stiffly, as one would, and on alert.
Yeah. You are aware, like, with the setup that there is, having the guards in the carriage in front and behind you guys. You were informed to be a little less on guard, but that did not stop you. You were yeah, and you
Oh, she also has this large long sword that she has propped up next to her.
Yeah. I would assume at the side facing, like, towards, like, one of the doors, like, not in between you and Xavier, but, like, towards the outside, in case. Yeah, and yeah, we see this kind of scene, and as the cart is moving forward, the first one in front of them turns as this one kind of begins to turn as well, so the door could be facing towards the stage. And as it comes to a stop, we hear the sounds of, like, gears and, like, kind of metal moving as this what appeared to be small box originally begins to take shape into, if you'd like to describe Conry.
Yes, I would. You see, for coming out of this box-like form, this what looks like a robotic, fairly large in comparison, mixed between a dog and a wolf. Think kind of Zamazenta from Pokemon, but made of pure metal and gears, and has from the mane that's outlined in the same material that Elwyn is made of, has this kind of fake white fur coming from him. And same with his tail. He looks just as regal and has the same kind of accents that Elwyn has.
Yeah. He begins to kind of, like, adjust to being back in, like, dog form, essentially, as he kind of, like, moves around, as he kind of scents the cart at its destination. One of the guards from the front cart comes and opens the carriage you guys are at, and the queen steps out first, followed by the king. Would you go before or after Xavier?
Before.
Okay. Yeah. So you two step out, and then they step out, and then you follow behind them, but keeping an eye on Xavier behind you as you guys make your way to the stage, and you, the king, and Xavier take the seats on the stage, with it kind of being the king closest to the center, and then Xavier, and then you at the outside, with Connery kind of doing the little thing when dogs do before they sit down, where they kind of circle for a little bit and then kind of plop themselves down, as the queen walks up to the podium. As we do each year since their triumph, we all gather here and honor the heroes of Ratoki, this being, of course, the group, and she gestures to the 3 individuals on the stage, the group who defeated the varying evils that made their rise all those years ago. It's because of their efforts we are able to live peacefully as we do now. Additionally, while this day is mostly in celebration of what they did, we obviously cannot only stop at that. Various, and as she begins her next sentence, a ball of multicolored energy is hurled from the crowd and strikes the queen. On impact, smoke begins to be seen as she begins to catch fire. 2 of the police warforged help run up and clear the smoke around her, but as the smoke clears, she is lying on the ground dead. Above her, a brown and green circle with a swirl design appears above the queen as her body is absorbing. If you guys all check your, there should be a thing that says handouts and items. You should all be able to see the assassination portal sigil. That is what the portal that appeared behind her looks like. For chat, it appears like that. It is this just green circle with these intricate round designs on it. Elwyn, what would you do seeing this happen? You were going to be the first to act in this situation, seeing this strike hit the queen, the smoke clearing, which, because I would say you're close enough that you could kind of see partly into the smoke, because of what you're capable of doing. Your eyes kind of get these small lights behind them as you're able to see somewhat into the smoke, and you just see her burning and collapsing on the ground before getting absorbed into this circle that just disappears once her body's gone. What do you do?
I mean, I'm pretty sure she would have been one of the Warforged, going and helping to clear the smoke.
Yeah. Alright, so yeah, you essentially are one of the people who runs up and just by the time the smoke has cleared, she is just her body's there, and it just gets absorbed into this portal. Trying to even grab at her, there is no contact pending. You guys can see this all of you in the crowd. Some people are running on screaming, and you can see some of the police warforged begin taking stance at the edge of the kind of circular area, stopping anyone and looking through their bags before letting anyone leave. You can see the goblin woman on stage yelling out commands to some of these police warforged, as she is the chief of police.
Do I recognize this symbol at all?
Do you recognize this symbol? Make a history check.
History.
While that's going on, Elwyn is going to probably double back around back to Xavier.
Ooh, great. That's fitting. That is very fitting for you to not. You immediately, in the first glance, partly because of the smoke obscuring it, but partly because of just, trying to recall, taking any amount of information you can. It is just an overload, and you are just trying to process anything. You cannot get any idea of what this
thing.
Elwin, you run back to Xavier, which Conry at this point has already kind of taken up stance again of like looking around, like making sure that Xavier is safe. He immediately is just on guard for this. As you run back, he kind of loosens his stance a little bit, but is still just as much on guard. Would Arbitrium or Flint like to do anything?
I would just pull out my my wand from my sleeve. It's a the slick black wand with some white carvings in it, and I just back against a wall.
As you pull this wand out of your sleeve, you see two of the police workers that are kind of like helping people get towards like the exit calmly, walk up to you and go, "Sir, we need to ask where you got this from."
I made it myself.
Alright, and how do you intend on using it? You are aware that the Queen just had magic thrown at her.
I am. I'm aware that that magic could come back at me at any moment.
We don't want to make any assumptions about you, but you know, having a visible, like, you know, arcane focus at the scene of an assassination on the Queen, that's not something we can just like, let go.
I cast a spell.
What spell are you casting, and what are you attempting doing here?
Can I cast prestidigitation and make a little smoke bomb?
Let me see if that's I believe you should be able to do that. I just want to check. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would count that as like an instantaneous, harmless sensory effect. So yeah, you.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that and just run if I can.
Okay. Yeah, you pull out your wand, and these two approach you, and as they're kind of discussing, you're just like, no, and just shoot towards the ground as this, like, puff of probably, like, silverish smoke comes.
Yeah, real Grunkle Stan style.
Yeah, and just, like, what is, and your speed is 30. I'll say, I'll say either sleight of hand or stealth check to kind of get out of, like, use magic to get out of sight with this spell, because this is not a teleportation spell. This is just like a cartoon magic trick to.
Oh yes. How do I do this command?
So if you go into your skills, like the list of skills, just click the word, and you can. I think you have the same modifier for sleight of hand and stealth. Oh, sorry, you are still whispering. Chat sees it, but I forgot to update your sheet to not whisper. But that is a 19 for those who cannot see it.
Ayo!
No whispers.
Two opposite sides of the spectrum.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not natural 19. Yeah, you're as you do this kind of smoke ball, and they are immediately kind of just like on guard and like that. But as they kind of look around, they see other people pulling out like arcane foci. Okay, two people messaged me to turn down the music a little bit. I'll just turn it off. I'm still figuring out things with audio stuff, but yeah, they immediately like catch wind of like other people with their stuff, and they're like, you could have attacked them if you wanted to. You didn't. They're not trying to worry about this right now. Flint, do you do anything before we kind of like continue with other things? The way I'm doing this essentially, it's not initiative, but I essentially want to give everyone a chance to act before I either do another plot point or ask if people want to do things again.
Yeah, I would assume that I'm just like kind of frozen in place, and I just take my little pendant and like kiss it, look up to the sky, and just follow the crowds, try to like blend in, not cause any disruptions.
Okay. So you have like your holy symbol kind of kept.
Yeah, like
prepared.
I'm like holding it in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. You guys see more people are getting cleared out of this area as these like the Warforged are either escorting people either by force or willingly to just these various like checkpoints essentially that these guards are setting. One person in particular is kind of like they're like not like one person in particular, but like there's a few like that are either refusing to not move or are still in conversation with the Warforged. So anyone else gonna do things?
Elwyn is following orders.
From who?
Uh,
Because there is the police chief woman that is like telling the police to do things, but or are you listening for like the king to tell you something to do? Which also,
yeah.
you would be aware of this specifically. The government that this is followed is a matriarchal one. The queen is like that's why it's like the queen was giving the speech because she runs the country. The king is kind of there of like the queen's husband. He does have like authority over that. Like we'll get to that issue later, but he just kind of looks towards you. It's just like he's stuttering to get to any words because of trying to process what he just saw happen in front of him like less than a minute ago. I thank you for being here for Xavier at this point. I don't even know what to do.
Sir.
I know you. I don't even know what to say about this. Like, you can see like tears like forming as he's trying to just like process all of this and like try to keep the like regal composure he needs to have here while also like, you know, not just brushing off the fact of what just happened. Like, did you see anything about it?
Her body.
I know Phoenicia isn't the most magical friendly place, but I know you know some stuff about it. Did you sense anything about what happened there?
Magically, no. But her body was teleported elsewhere.
Alright, well, I know it's me being very optimistic about it, but, I mean, spells to bring back the dead exist. We don't necessarily know that the person who made that portal is responsible for the one that killed her, but, I mean, even that's just being hopeful at this point.
Do you want me to help investigate?
At this point, you've seen like there are other police that like the head of police, like the chief of police, she has told them to kind of like protect you guys as well. So there are like probably like 2 or 3 other warforged that have like stayed up on the stage, like looking at the area or like just being near you guys. I mean, any amount that could help would be helpful, and do not underestimate the ability of the you know, Warforged police and everything, but I mean, any extra set of eyes, especially, you know, how you can sometimes be with your perceptiveness, is helpful.
Right. Elwyn will bow. Take care of your son. And she will stride over to where it all happened.
Yeah, I mean, you walk closer towards the like, kind of where the body was essentially. There is like some little like burn marks on the ground, from the like, you know, impact of the spell and like her body being on the ground. But outside of that, there's no trace of what happened here. At least not visible.
As a player who is very tired, I'm trying to brainstorm how to go about this.
That's fine. That's also the thing of like I said it with the other group as well. Like if you guys want some advice because you guys haven't played these characters before and aren't sure what they can do, like I can give some advice there, but I do want to see naturally how this unfolds.
And
Can I just survey the scene just from a distance?
Oh yeah,
Just,
you
like,
can
see if I
kind of
can like make sense of what just happened.
Yeah, because from your perspective, like you saw like this, and like Elwin would know this too. Like all of you guys would be aware of this. The shot came from like somewhere in the crowd. It can't necessarily shown where in the crowd, but somewhere in the crowd there was that's where it came from. So as someone in the crowd, you could kind of survey and.
I'm just gonna kind of stick close to NES as all this is happening, but still trying to like piece together what just happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, make either investigation or perception to kind of like survey what's happening. Kind of.
Rolling great today.
I mean, it's the first two roll. Like it's fine. Listen, there were not a lot of good rolls in the last one either. Yeah, I mean, looking around, the best you can kind of understand is like there are still like people around, but like no like there's nothing like suspicious looking around still, but you can't really get
no one's shifty.
Yeah, I mean they're like the only people that you would consider shifty are the ones that are like still in conversation with some of the Warforged. Like there's like probably like 3 or 4 people who are like still in the middle of the like this circular area talking to Warforged, while most of the rest have either gone to the edges or have left this kind of area.
I'm just gonna kind of stick close to NES and kind of mumble to, hey, is it always this violent in the big city?
Normally it's not, but like, I mean, it's a festival of heroes. They're celebrating the good that has happened in this world. So obviously, not everyone's for that. Those 3 on stage, the heroes of Itoki, as we've called them, like they stopped the bunch of evils. There might have been people who weren't that happy about that, either because they were benefiting or stuff like that. But
mysteries abound.
Yeah, I mean, I try not to get wrapped up in that stuff because, it's, I live a simple life essentially, as you kind of know. Like I go out, I hunt, I get back home. I try to avoid any of these big conflicts, but with how our world is, with magic and stuff existing, stuff like this happens. Flint or Arichum, anything from you guys?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
You said that there's a guy that I know that was here.
Mm-hmm.
Where did he go? Because I'd probably stick close to him.
No, like once that first thing went out, he like kind of surveyed the area and he just kind of joined the Warforged and trying to get people out. And you see him take on like you specifically, because you are more aware of what he can do. You saw him take on this more bestial form as he shifts, and he just is darting around as he's moving at like the equivalent of in game 90, which is 3 times the speed of like all of you guys, as he's just getting people away from the center and just clearing the area. He was just doing that for a bit.
Okay, I'll probably just like stick off to the side and watch him do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to track this.
I mean, perception is a tracking. Like you can look for senses.
Yeah.
So.
Probably. I mean, that's probably what I would do.
Okay. So.
Yes.
Make sure I get this right. You get advantage on survival to track them, or intelligence to call information about them. So, as this was a human, like that's something you can sense. Like looking through the crowd, this was probably a humanoid of some sort. Mm-hmm. All right, so make either. I will allow like perception or investigation in this chance as well, because intelligence checks count for like that. So I will give you advantage on either be investigation and perception or survival.
Perception is the best.
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm looking. I'm looking at your.
Yeah.
But you do have advantage, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Uh huh.
Sharon Queen.
All right. As you're kind of like at this like first part of the stage, you walk up and kind of look around, like, like kind of like, okay, the queen was standing here, the shot probably would have came from there, and you look around and there are two warforged talking to this one individual who has this like large staff just kind of like at his feet, and he looks nervous, and he's roughly in the area that the person would have been in when this shot was fired.
She's going to stride over and call Connery to her.
Okay, yeah. You see like another warforged on the stage kind of like take Connery's place as like making sure the prince is okay. As you guys kind of get off the stage and walk towards this man. He appears to be this human man, like longish black hair, like a decently thick beard. And the warforged are like, you come into the conversation as he's just going like, I promise you, I don't know where this came from. It's not mine. I came here to watch the festival like everyone else, and when you guys walked over, it was here. I swear. And like the two warforged kind of see you walk up and just kind of nod, being aware of probably like what you're intending to do here, as they know who you are in relation to what just happened.
The shot came from over here.
I mean, that might be true, but I promise, like, I didn't do this. I would never hurt her.
Then did you see anything? Also, can I make an insight check against it? Do I believe this?
Oh yeah, you can make an insight. I mean, you didn't have advantage, but
no, I didn't meet. Well, the 17 is the.
But I would like to point out the other one, which was the negative, the one you rolled, the natural one, which was the second option there, which gave you a 0.
Yeah. I forgot to click off of advantage, but fine. Yeah, the first roll.
If
Good.
that ever happens to people, I'm just informing this as a blanket rule. If someone ever forgets to turn off advantage or disadvantage, I will just take the first number that shows up. So like in this case, it was the 17. But just in, you kind of like examine, and especially with like your history of like what you were kind of built to do, reading suspicious individuals is very like something you're, not always perfect at, but kind of have a knack for sometimes. And you begin like kind of analyzing this man, and while he is not lying about not doing, like, you do not think he like was responsible for this, he's definitely hiding something about his involvement with of why he's here. But from what you can tell, he's very like, being questioned about killing the queen is very like, he is getting very nervous about being asked about that. But you get the sense that he's telling the truth about like, he didn't kill her.
Yeah, he didn't fire the shot.
Yeah, he's not the one who killed her, but that does not mean that he is innocent.
I'm not saying that you did. But you have to know something.
I promise you, I don't know anything about this.
It's better if you tell the truth now.
He picks the staff up on the ground and goes, I can't, and he breaks the staff, and you see him 30 feet away instantaneously. And he begins to sprint, and after a few seconds, another 30 feet teleported away. As you just see him.
After him.
The two other Warforged and Connery begin sprinting in that direction. the two warforged that are like he essentially teleported behind that were kind of blocking the exit to the circular area. Like just kind of move out of the way as you guys are full sprinting. What do the rest of you guys do as you see two police officers and what you assume to essentially be some sort of bodyguard for the royal family begins
And a giant robot dog.
and a giant robot. Well, giant in terms of like he's a medium-sized creature, which means he's about 5 feet.
Yeah, which is a big dog.
Yeah. Well, I was 5 feet in length, not 5 feet in height. Like if he were to stand on
That's
his
still
hind,
a big
If
dog.
he were to stand on his hind legs, he'd be about a 5 foot tall, like that size. But yeah, he's large. He's a big boy. They begin spinning. What do the other three of you do as you see this happen?
So I had the
After
smoke bomb and then I hid.
Yeah, you essentially you were able to smoke bomb and kind of get into like a little like side area and get away from the circular area without like any of the warforged stopping to like search you or anything.
Is he? What direction is he running in relative to me? Towards me, away from me, to the sides, or whatever.
He's a bit farther, like I would say south in relation to you, but you could see him running in the direction of to the east. He is running east, but he is a bit further, like on one of the more southern streets to you.
So not really towards me though.
No, he's not running in your direction, but
Okay.
like you can see him from where you are, and like, but you know you're a few streets up from where the street he's running down.
And where is he in relation to me?
I mean, he probably would have been like the big like the circular area that it started in wasn't extremely large. Like it had enough for like like a good crowd to fill, but like probably like actually I don't want to compare that because that's a very niche. Like I understand that, but like it's like you could see him running, but he's kind of at the other like not the full other end, but if you were essentially at like the northern part of the circle, he would have been like towards the eastern side, and begins running in that direction as well, like towards the east. So you could begin to follow. You can see him, but you're not. You wouldn't be like the closest one to him.
Yeah. I'll probably just like look around, see what everyone else is doing, but like still be like on alert, you know.
Okay, yeah, you do see like some of the warforged turn their attention. You see like these 3 warforged and a robot dog begin chasing in that direction.
How far away from me is he? How far away from me is he in feet?
I mean, he is like you can see him like if you're trying to keep an eye on him, like it's between like buildings and stuff like as alleyways are kind of connecting the streets. He'd probably be about like 90 or so feet from you. But you do see,
And I don't really have a clear line of sight. He's going in between
so
stuff.
like if you tried to do like a spell to hit him, he'd have
Yeah.
like partial cover. If it's a saving throw, you might not even like he might be able to go through it because you also do see he runs for about 30 feet or so, and then he teleports again. You can see him like pushing people out of the way as he's doing this.
I don't think I do anything. I think he's too far.
I mean, do you follow to keep eyesight on him, or do you just stay where you are?
Are the streets like parallel?
Yeah, it's parallel enough. It's like it's essentially a grid system. It's just that area you guys were in was a circle. Like it was just a cleared opening. So it's essentially you could do parallel, but you like would still be like a few streets above where he is.
Yeah. All right. I think I'm gonna try to just run parallel, see if I can keep an eye on him.
All right, cool. You begin like you do see him like teleporting again, but there is like a pause after every time he teleports where he has to kind of build up his speed again. It's not like a continuous run. You can also hear the sound of like the 4 robotic creatures following in that direction. What did the other 2 do?
Yeah. How many streets away would you say?
Probably about 3 or so streets up from him.
Okay.
Yeah. So like if you wanted to, you could lose some like horizontal ground on him if you wanted to get closer to the street he's on. But like every street you go down, he would essentially be able to get that 30 feet of horizontal distance away from you for every vertical that you gain.
So, about how many feet is he moving in it? Say, like a turn-based system.
In a turn-based system, he is moving around 70 feet per round.
So in a turn, Conry can dash 80 feet.
Okay. But yeah,
Conry has 40 feet of movement.
Yeah. So you begin to like have Conry move, like begin dashing and moving faster.
Yes.
Okay.
Fucking running this man down.
As he like hears the like Conry like running towards him, you can see his focus get stronger, like the man's focus, as he begins dashing as well. So he is now going 100. He's going up now 110 feet with his teleportation. You have alerted him to your presence.
Bitch!
What do the other two do as you see these like individuals kind of move away from the circle?
Cora's just kind of look at this and kind of go, "So, my friend, are you ready for an adventure?"
I mean, I guess we get involved, but hopefully everything goes like well enough.
Come on, what could go wrong?
He just kind of smiles as you say that, like him knowing your situation of like, I guess it might help. He keeps justifying every action as it might help him. It might get him closer to it. As he begins like heading down, you can see like the robotic things in the distance. But
We're just gonna kind of keep a safe distance, but close enough to get involved if we have to.
yeah, you keep eyesight of them, but you are not in the immediate. And you know with Ennius's like weapon that he uses, and your stuff, you should be able, like, eyesight is enough for you guys. You don't have to be within melee to do what you need. Yeah, like you
like 120 feet at least.
Yeah, like you can see him, but like neither of you needs to be because I would say you would probably like Ennius uses like a longbow, so both of you are like, if I can see him, that's enough for me.
Yep, we're good. We're chilling.
Yeah. All right, Flint.
I'll probably start like walking that direction.
Cool.
And then once the other people, like the two people in front of me that just started running, like once they start running, then I'll probably start running too.
Okay, yeah. So you're keeping farther back than those two, but still like within eyesight to see what is happening on this road.
Yeah.
Cool. As this continues for a little bit, would you call Conry back at all if you see that the distance is not being closed, or would you? Continue? Okay. So Conry is still ahead of you guys, but like he's kind of maintaining pace enough to keep in front of you guys, but not like because for every round he would get 10 more feet away from you guys, so he is staying 30 feet, but he's staying in front of you guys. As the man is just still teleporting. He gets towards like what appears to be this bridge that all you guys would recognize as the bridge between Nyling and Drust. Before he breaks another like he pulls like a piece of wood out of his bag and breaks that again, and these like bramble type things appear on the ground between you guys, and all of you just see these two warforgeds that are running from Drust. He pushes past them, and just from appearing almost out of nowhere, like you see these two hyena-like humanoids grab at the throats of these warforgeds running to stop him, and just begin biting and tearing into them as he makes further and further distance.
Oh. That looks fun.
The closest people would be the Warforged, including Elwyn and Conry. As you guys kind of get to where these brambles appear, do you just run through the brambles, or do you like stop before them? But keep in mind that on the other side of the brambles, you see these two other Warforged being attacked by these hyena-like creatures.
Fuck it, Elwyn ain't no bitch.
Okay.
Elwyn's charging straight through.
Okay. Let me see if charging through it does anything. Let me find the. Okay, no. Yeah, it's just difficult terrain for you.
Yeah,
Which
that's fine.
actually, wait a minute. Let me check.
Mm-hmm.
I'm checking to see the specific. Oh yeah, no, you ignore. Yeah, I think Conry still deals with it.
Maybe.
Yeah, Conry still deals with it, but and so the other two Warforged. But you just run through and you just see these like hyena-like things. Just like they've taken some damage from these Warforged trying to fight back, but these Warforged are looking almost dead at this point.
Oh.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Do these brambles look flammable?
Um. Make an Arcana check. These, at first inspection of it, these look like flammable normal brambles, but as you kind of are getting closer to this, like still keeping eyesight as the distance has been kind of closed to where this area is at, these don't appear to be normal brambles. These almost appear to be like magical in some sense. You can't tell how they were created, but these are not just like brambles. These are closer to like an illusion of a bramble that still acts like a bramble.
Okay. So lighting them on fire will not do anything.
Yeah, your assumption, if you were to try to light it on fire, it would just put fire in that area, but nothing would burn. But with that same kind of knowledge, you assume that it is not a long-term effect. It is going to probably disappear. It won't need like cleared out or anything.
Right. Okay.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
How far ahead is he from me? Knowing that I'm in the back.
Let me compare things. Let me open up your sheet. You guys have the same speed, so he probably would have like probably 30 to 50 feet on you.
I would like to cast a spell.
Cool.
Well, how wide is the bridge?
The bridge is probably about I'd probably say about 50 or 60 feet. It's wide enough that like two-way traffic of carts could go on it. So like there could be carts go, and there's still space in the middle, so they're not just like touching up against each other as they're trying to drive. So it's probably about 50 or 60 feet wide.
Okay. I would like to cast Spike Growth.
You're also whispering. Why did I?
Yeah, I realized, and I also like clicked the thing instead of the thing.
Oh, you have you have a toggleable whisper thing.
Yeah. But I would like to cast that, like, judging by like the strides of his run, like where he would land next. You know.
Oh, wait, are you asking about the, like, I thought you meant the person in front of you.
No.
Oh, no, no, the dude.
That's why I was wondering.
No, the dude that initially started running, no, he is far beyond that range.
Yeah, that's why I asked.
Okay, yeah, so I thought you meant in reference to the person who talked
No.
because he was, like, slightly ahead of you.
No, like the person like that we're chasing.
Yeah, no. He is like far past that.
So past 150 feet.
Yeah, he's farther than 150 feet from you.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, that's it then.
All right.
Were there brambles in my way? So I was a couple streets away.
As you get to like essentially the if I can ping on the map, like again, essentially like where the kind of edge of Niling would be towards the bridge towards Druss. So you're a few streets up from that, and you do see like the brambles are essentially just covering the entrance to the bridge and separating you guys from like the injured Warforged. The like bodyguard of the royal family essentially has crossed through those brambles and is like looking at these hyena things right now. We'll get to what you do when you get there in a second, but you like for everyone else, they're just either approaching it or like the exception is like the one guy who is still sprinting past as these like hyena like things are attacking.
Am I close to the hyena things?
I mean it's on the bridge, so again you're like a few streets up from that.
Okay.
So like you can see them and they're like within probably like again like 90 or so feet from you. Because it's like at the same distance as that main street he was running down.
Well, when I'm able, I'd like to get closer and try and cast Animal Friendship on one of them.
Okay.
I want to try and help one of the guards, if
Okay,
possible.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, these are you can as you get closer, you can definitely tell these are like hyena human hybrids. They are not just hyenas.
Oh, this probably won't work then.
I mean, you can still try it if you want to. I'm just informing you, like these are not just like hyenas. These are like they appear humanoid. Like you can see like a spear is like strapped to one of their backs, like a weapon.
Are these
Well, they-
gnolls?
Perhaps. Are you asking that as Amy, or are you asking that as Elwyn?
Both.
Well, Elwyn wouldn't know what a gnoll is.
True. Unless they count as humanoid.
They are humanoid, but
do I recognize these creatures? As in,
Fair.
would I have any idea what their intelligence is like?
looking at look as all you guys kind of get vision of these hyena human, like none of you guys recognize what type of creature this is. You can just recognize there is some sort of humanoid like stature to them, but there is like hyena like face and arms. So none of you guys can tell more than it's like it looks to be a mix between a hyena and a human.
I'm gonna try and start making my way through the brambles then.
Okay, yeah, it's just difficult terrain, so it takes like essentially, it would like, I think it's like roughly like a 20-foot patch of brambles that appear, and for you to get through it, it takes 40 feet of movement, so it takes like about 10 to 15 seconds for you to get through it. But no damage is felt. You do feel like the feeling of brambles on you, but like there's like you don't feel the pain of it. You just feel like something touching you as you walk through.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna take stock of the situation once I get through and engage if I feel threatened.
Okay. I will say at this point, Elwyn, as you've kind of been here the longest, what do you do to help out the two Warforgeds that are injured? Because you were there first.
Yeah.
First
of all,
they do still have like injured hyena creatures like biting them and attacking them, but
When I get close enough, I'm gonna pop off a ray of frost.
cool. Okay.
But if I'm not close enough yet, that's cool.
Yeah. I will. As Elwyn,
You let me know when I'm.
Yeah.
When I'm within 60 feet, you let me know.
Yeah. Okay. It's essentially there would be one round of combat because you have 30 feet of movement, so it's like
Yeah. Okay.
one like quotes around one round of combat. So it's like I'll let Elwyn and Flint do their things because Coors was essentially approaching. So I'll let Flint and Elwyn do whatever they want, and then I will have you guys essentially roll initiative to kind of at least have an order to what's happening here.
I would like to try and I'm gonna attack one of the hyena creatures.
Okay. They both look roughly the same amount of injured. So, like, you can take that as you will. On which one you would like to.
The left one.
Okay.
Boom.
As a 10 to hit with your longsword.
Yep.
You swing at this hyena creature thing that's attacking the first one, and it just makes contact with like its armor, and it does nothing to him.
So wait, am I there too at this point?
Well, it's the thing of you would get close and like you. It's what do you want? Like, are you like by this point you would approach? You would be at the brambles. Like, do you want to try to go through? Do you want to stay where you are and like try to do something from there? That's kind of up to you. And then we will do initiative.
How like deep are the brambles? Like if I stand on one edge.
It's the Warforged and the two hyena things that are attacking them would be about 30 feet from the start of the brambles. It's about 20 feet of bramble, and then it's 10 feet away from the brambles is where they are.
Okay, I got this. I am going to find. Let's just stick with 2 pebbles that are nearby. I'm assuming there are some.
Okay.
And I'm going to use Magic Stone.
Cool.
And I will. Is it a bonus action just to cast it?
It's a bonus action to cast, so you do still have your action.
Yeah, and then it's like still the bonus action to throw it, right?
No, it's an action to throw it.
Okay, then I'll just.
You can send it to the chat if you like, if you want to. Like you can do like the text version from the spell list.
Yeah, just so like people have.
Yeah, just so people like the audience is aware of what we're talking about too. Oh, that was rolling it, but that was rolling.
I know it didn't work. Okay.
Oh, there we go. Yep.
There. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is. You can make a ranged spell attack with one of the pebbles by throwing it or hurling it with a sling. So is an action is an attack roll to throw a stone. So you can you touch 2 pebbles that you can just kind of find near the bridge forming, and just throw the first one, and it just bounces off of like the shoulder of one of the creatures.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Then that's all for my turn.
Yeah. So.
You're doing amazing.
Yeah. Everyone, roll initiative. Amy, I will let you know yours is already set up to have advantage on initiative, so you do not need to like set like advantage for it. There's a feature for like barbarians and your specific class that can just automatically give you the advantage there. So.
Wait, so am I rolling advantage too?
No, you just roll yours normally. Her class gives her advantage on initiative rolls.
No. It just
level 1.
Mm-hmm.
My Wi-Fi like cut out for a second, so I only got something about advantages.
That's fine.
So I'm just rolling regular initiative.
Just click your initiative. Ooh, fucking good initiative.
Okay.
Oh my.
Starting off strong. We're not talking about the other one. The other roll didn't happen. This is the first one of the game.
It's fine.
It says something about a turn tracker, but no valid token was selected.
That's if we have like tokens on the board set up. You have to click on your token on the board, then roll initiative, and then it will put like a turn tracker on the thing. I like to keep track of it on my own paper, so I can keep track of like all the enemies, because I don't roll the enemies in chat, so it would be separate anyway. So it will always say that, but it does do it correctly still.
Bad.
Okay, let me see what these things have as their initiative. And they are at that much health.
I just realized I also need to roll Connery's initiative.
You do need to roll Connery's initiative. Keep in mind though, he does not, or does. Oh yeah, he does have a separate one. I forgot.
Yeah.
Wait, does he?
Yeah.
Really? That's the wrong sheet.
Yeah. Hang on. It's
because I know like with like attacks and stuff.
It rolls initiative like any other creature, but you determine its actions, decisions,
okay.
attitudes, and so on.
Oh yeah, this is the better version of the one from the player's handbook. So it actually gets its own turn instead of just you can attack or it can attack.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, roll Connery's initiative then. Does he have advantage?
I guess. I just looked at it and
no,
gave it
sorry,
advantage.
sorry, no. Yeah, sorry. I forgot that he's set up to automatically roll advantage. So I will take the 14. Let me just edit
Yeah.
the sheet. Advantage toggle. So there should be a toggleable advantage thing. If not,
Okay.
you need to just close and reopen it, and it should be at the top.
Yeah, no, it's there now. It's
Cool.
there now.
So he had a 14, so still not terrible initiatives from any of you guys. He actually goes right after you, which I think is very fitting. Conry. Also, you won't be able to edit his health, but I will tell you what he is at if he takes damage.
Yeah, I can also just keep track of it myself.
Mm-hmm.
Can't you just like set up a thing on your character sheet and just be like Conry help
You could
in the
do that.
resources thing?
Okay. Flint, what would you like to do?
So I'm on the other side of the brambles.
Yeah, you threw your first stone at it, so you have your full movement, your action, your bonus action for this now.
Okay. Well, looking at the spells I have prepared, Okay. Yeah. I'm going to use... Is light crossbow two-handed, we said?
Yeah, your light crossbow is a two-handed weapon.
Okay, never mind. Shoot. I guess I will be taking the other magic stone and throwing it.
Okay.
So just roll magic stone.
Yeah, just roll your magic stone attack as you throw the second stone. A 13.
Okay.
Again, this time, this one has, like, you threw the first one and it kind of, like, hit the shoulder and it, like, you got its attention a little bit. As you throw the next one, it just raises its shield up and blocks it.
Okay, great.
Now, for people who have not played with me before, that means that if it did not have the shield, that would have hit it. Is what that roll means.
Okay.
So its AC, its AC is higher than that only because of the shield.
Yeah. I
that
did
makes
just
sense.
realize I have like no attacks. Like no damaging anything. So yeah.
It makes sense for who you are right now though, like.
Yeah. Not the best for combat.
Any bonus action that you want to do?
I mean, okay, how damaged are the Warforged people?
The term I use is bloodied, which means they're at least half health or lower. Same with the hyena things. All of them appear very injured.
Okay. I guess I'll use Healing Word on one of the Warforged people.
Okay. What word do you say?
You're welcome.
Okay. Roll your Healing Word. Let's see how much you give back.
I clicked it. Is it not?
Oh, you have to pick
Oh,
a
okay.
level. You have to pick
There
a
we go.
level.
Yeah.
Maxing it out.
Yeah.
So you can choose. Do you want it first or second? All right.
I did first.
5 back. Nice. Lowest it could
Yeah.
be. Still nice. You see some of like the gashes that these like teeth marks from these hyena things kind of repair a little bit, but like he still looks fairly rough. Any movement you want to do?
I'll begin trudging through the brambles.
Yeah, you make it a little over halfway through the brambles, but because there's 20 feet of this, you can only get, because it's difficult terrain, you only get about 30 feet in but like 30 feet of movement, which is essentially 15 of the 20.
Okay, I do have a question
Mhm.
though. Before I started walking, could I pick up the other stone and just like keep it, or like without
It's a
using an
thing you
action
could
or
probably
something?
find them. Like you could find them fairly easily. It's not. I'm not gonna like.
Okay, yeah.
As I told you
Okay.
before, if you're outside, you can find pebbles fairly everywhere. Even I would even
Okay.
include like any small item that you could find on the ground, like or just anything that would be like pebble sized. I would account it for if it's like an outdoors type thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Following that, it is now Arbitruum's turn. I would say at this point you've closed the distance to you're about 60 feet away at the start of your turn. So if you want to get closer, you can, but you are within 60 feet now. So what would you like to do? You have action, bonus action, and movement. And just a reminder that you cannot do an action and a bonus action spell. You can only do one or the other in one turn.
Okay.
But if I remember correctly, I might be misremembering, but I just want to check something on your sheet. No, you do. Okay, so you do not have the thing that would make you be able to change the casting times. Yeah.
So does that mean I'm confused on that?
What's your question about then?
So I can, if I do a spell,
Mm-hmm.
that takes my action.
Yes.
Do I still have a bonus action? It just can't be a spell?
Yeah. You can't do a leveled spell and that is a leveled action and a leveled bonus action spell. Like you can't do both in one turn. But like you could do like a bonus action spell and an action cantrip.
Could I do 2 cantrips?
No, cantrips are also no, you could if they have different casting times. You could do 2 cantrips.
Oh, okay.
But leveled spells, like spell slot ones, you can only do one of those per turn. But cantrips you can do like as long as the casting time is different than the other one.
Where would I see casting time?
If you open the description of the spells, it says like name of the spell.
Casting time.
Yeah, casting time, and it's just
One
like,
action.
One action. I don't like most of yours will be one action, I believe.
Yeah, they're all one action.
But I'm just checking.
All my cantrips, at least.
Yeah, I'm just checking your other spells.
Yeah.
All the ones you currently have are one action. So, essentially, you could just do one of those, but you still do have any bonus action ability you have. Additionally, you can do things that aren't spells as your action. Like, specifically, your racial one is something that I don't need to hint at what it is because you are visibly a dragonborn. So you have like your breath weapon that you could do. But I think that's all. It's also an action to do the breath weapon.
What's the range on that?
It is a 5 foot by 30 foot line.
Okay, so I'm not close enough.
You would have to get closer, but I'm saying that is something
I
you
see.
can do if you got close. Like you're currently 60 feet away, you could move
in general
and get 30 feet away and just barely hit one of them, but it would also hit the warforged that creature is biting onto. But with like a spell, you could target just one creature, like that.
So can I cast Ray of Frost twice?
No, because that's an action to do. So you only get one action per turn.
You can
And
hit
what's
one
the
of
bonus
them.
action for?
Bonus action is like there are some things that are like bonus actions to cast. Like for example, with Flint's turn, Magic Stone is a bonus action. So it's a bonus action to make the stones magical. It's an action to throw one as a weapon, essentially.
Okay.
So he has some spells that are bonus actions. All of yours happen to be actions.
So for casting time, it would say bonus action?
Yeah, I would say one bonus action. There are also some spells that are like reactions to do, which is a separate thing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so you essentially get one action per round of combat.
Okay, well, I'm going to cast Ray of Frost on the closest one.
Okay. Yeah, roll. So if you go to your like main page and go to your attacks, that works too. You can click it from the spell as well. That's an 18 to hit. So click on the name of it in chat, and that will roll damage for it. All right, 3 cold damage. So you blast the one that like was previously hit by like the stones, like this kind of bounce off it. As its attention is focused on Flint with his little pebbles. No, yeah. So that means Core tried to click on the damage or stuff for it, or the spell description.
I was trying to read the description.
Yeah, spell description. Because it's someone else's sheet, so you can't print.
Okay.
But yeah, as its focus is on the yeah, there we are. As its focus is on the other individual that is throwing stuff at this thing and trying to make its way through the brambles, you blast this like ray of cold from your hand, and or I guess no, it'd be from your wand. Actually, no, it doesn't have a material component, so it would come from. I guess it could be your wand if you want it to be, but
I would do the wand.
okay, yeah. So as this kind of cold blast, kind of forms in the air and hits into this thing, and you can see it's kind of like limbs like stiffen a little bit, as the other effect is there as well, where its speed is now 10 feet less until your turn starts again.
Cool.
You have your movement left, and you have if you have any bonus action things that aren't spells and stuff. I don't know if you do or not.
I don't think I do.
Yeah, I'm just checking. I mean, you could do this, the thing I just opened. It's a bonus action to do that, but it's also like you haven't used any yet, so there's no point for that. But that is something in the future of like, it's a bonus action to do that thing. I don't want to say what it is because that would reveal to the audience what you are, and I want that to be like you reveal that yourself in like.
I don't know what you opened.
Oh, it's the second to last thing from your feet.
Oh, okay.
It's a bonus action to do either of those options for it. But you used a cantrip, so neither of those, and you have not used the expendable points you have. But all right, do you want to move closer, or are you going to stay where you are? This will also be, this combat is theater of the mind, because it doesn't really matter too much still of like where things are located. But in other combats, there will be like physical place on the map for you to see. But yeah.
I'm gonna run closer. So,
okay, yeah, so
I'll do another
able
30
to kind
feet.
of follow the road that goes down and get about 30 feet closer.
Okay.
Cool. Next in initiative is you guys see farther down the road. You see this just the man that you guys have been chasing just sprinting forward again. He gains another. Let me check to see how much distance he gains on this one. As he's just full on running. Let me just check something. Okay. Yeah, as he gains just another 80 feet. As he's getting closer towards the end of the other side of the bridge. Elwyn.
Oh boy. Damn, Elwyn really wants to go running after them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see he is probably about 150 feet away from you, and you're the closest to him.
So I have a spell. I have a bonus action, called Zephyr Strike.
You do have Zephyr Strike.
And, it gives me another 30 feet, to my regular walking speed.
That would give you 60, as your base movement.
So 120 feet a turn.
Well, 120
if I dash.
If you dash, which is an action.
I dash. Yes. Which I have. Because the Zephyr Strike is a bonus action.
I know, I'm just informing you. Like, it would be, you were using your bonus action to get closer to him, but you still would be about 30 feet away from him.
God damn it.
That's why I'm informing you of, like, you would still be 30 feet from him, and you would use all of your movement and your bonus action and your action to do that. Oh no, also, it's you get 30 feet your movement when you attack Once before the spell, you can give yourself
okay.
advantage on one weapon attack. It deals extra damage whether you hit or miss. So I'll say you didn't cast it, but like just before you would have to attack. You could attack the creature that is like one of the hyena things. You could attack one of those, and if that once you do that, then until the end of your turn, you would have 30 extra feet of movement. So you could move 60 this turn.
Which it would be if I just sprinted. So, I mean...
But you wouldn't have to you would use your action to deal damage and then still get that dash, essentially.
Yeah.
So, it is up to you if you would like to do the spell.
Sure, I'd like to... I will cast Zephyr Strike on myself.
Yeah, so you cast
I will give myself advantage on an attack roll to attack the one that I attacked before.
Okay. Here we go.
Douche.
Hey, natural 20.
Let's go!
You focus all your energy on I need to get this guy. Especially with your you do get a +2 to the damage as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because these are humanoids.
Mm-hmm.
As humanoids are your favorite enemy.
Yes.
Roll your damage. The +2 is not doubled, but roll the damage.
I didn't mean to do that.
Make sure you click the name in chat of the first one, so that the nat 20 is rolled.
Oh. Okay.
So that is 8. That's 8 damage that you deal as you swing your longsword into this one, and you see it just collapse. It loosens its grip on the neck of the one that you had been, it had been latched onto, and you feel you're kind of you feel the wind kind of behind you as you still have your movement, as this thing has died.
And she will run that 60 feet.
All right, yeah, so you close the distance. He's now about 90 feet away from you, but he does turn back and see that you are gaining on him a little bit, but he doesn't look too worried.
Okay.
Cool.
Connery.
Yeah, in similar fashion, Connery. What would you like Connery to do?
Connery would like to attack the other gnoll.
Cool. And we don't know if they're gnolls.
Or the other whatever the hell this hyena thing is.
Yeah. All right.
And does he gain advantage because the Warforged is in melee? Within 5 feet.
I will say no for the purposes of the Warforged has not taken a turn yet in this combat, so right now it is just a thing has latched onto his neck. So if the thing survives until the next turn, after the Warforged has attacked, then I would consider the advantage.
Okay. Then just chompy.
Chompy time. Alright, that does miss.
No chompy.
He bites in and just it is just like armor just immediately into his mouth.
No chompy.
No chomping.
That's his turn.
That is his turn. Core, what would you like to do?
So I have a few questions before I decide.
Yeah, that's fine.
How far away is the runner from me?
The runner from you, I would say, is probably... Let's see, he was 150 from her at the start of the bridge. And then 30 feet to get across to the start of the brambles. He's probably about 200 or so feet from you.
From the other side of the brambles.
He's 200 feet from you, yeah. And you're a little before the brambles, so...
Okay, then that rules out my big brain thing. So I'm just gonna huck a fireball at or a firebolt at this hyena
I
thing.
thought you said fireball for a second. I was
Yeah,
like,
I did. I got ahead of myself.
Yeah, you don't have that.
That is yet to come. I can't do that
yeah,
yet.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I'm just gonna
Is it worth it?
kind of push back. It's a cantrip.
No, it's 120 feet though.
Yeah, but I was trying to do something different for the guy who's farther away. So.
Oh, so you're firebolting the
Yeah, I'm firebolting the hyena
the
thingy.
hyena thing. Okay, cool.
The hyena thingy. So I'm just gonna sit back by the exit of the brambles and flip back my cape and pull out a book that's just gonna levitate in front of me as the text from it kind of glows green, and as such, the symbol on my arm also starts glowing green as I just kind of rear back a fireball attack, and I'm gonna huck it at this
All right, yeah.
guy.
Roll to hit with your fire. Ooh, low rolls.
Yeah, low rolls.
Yeah, no, you throw this fire at him, and it just like it hits like the armor that it is wearing, but like nothing damaging happens from it.
Okay. That's all I can do. That's my turn.
We love third level combat where it's just like I got one
Yeah, third level combat.
The one with the hyena thing still attached to him is going to just attempt to rip the thing off of it, just rip the hyena off of him. So I'm going to do opposed strength there, because for those who have been close enough to these things, you can see these Warforged have like guns at their side, and he is not going to try to do a gun to this thing that is trying to bite onto his neck. That's a very difficult shot for him. So I will do a opposed strength to try to rip him off. All right. He's able to successfully rip off the, just barely rip off the hyena creature from his neck. He does take some damage in the process, though. Let me roll the damage. Okay. Yeah, he does take 5 damage in the process of ripping this thing off, as its teeth are still into the metal. And he kind of throws it like a little away from him, and then his friend, the one that like you guys had killed, the one already, just stands up and shoots at it twice with a gun. And that is a crit, because that is a 19 for him. So that is a crit on the first shot, and a natural 18. So that is a 30 on the second shot.
Sheesh!
These police officers are fucking strong. Let me roll my damage now for how much he just did to the creature. Alright. The first attack does 16. And the second one does 10. As his friend rips off the thing from his neck, and then just the other one just shoots it twice, and it just stops moving. And you can see like there are visible like breakage on their bodies and stuff. It's like, oh, those things caught us off guard. Citizens, just kind of like trying to play off the situation of like, you didn't see that sort of thing. By this point, the brambles have kind of faded away, just kind of disappeared. As the man is still sprinting, though Elwyn has gone closer, but he is still keeping a farther distance. What do you all do?
So they're both dead, like the guards are good?
The police officers, they seem injured, but like, they can talk and move and stuff. For reference, they're about at like 30% health.
I'll go over and ask them if they need any healing.
I mean, we should be able to get back to like the town quickly enough that we shouldn't be fine. And there's 2 of us, so we can account for each other.
Okay, and then I like back away. I'm like, okay. But like kind of quickly backing away.
Do core.
I'm just kind of sticking by. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And Arbitrum, do you do anything?
No, they're both dead, right?
Yeah. Both the hyena things have died. You just hear two
No.
gunshots, and the second one had died. So
No, I don't do anything then.
cool. Elwin, what do you do as you see this person who does get to go before you? He gains another 80 feet on you, so he is now 170 feet from you and almost to the entrance to Drust. At this point, Connery has also started to move to catch up with you, but with there's still over almost 200 feet of distance between you and the man. What do you do?
There is. I'm trying to think of in character what Elwyn would do. She'd probably chase until she gets to the border of Drust.
Okay. By the time you get to the border of the entrance to Drust, he is out of sight. He has gained distance every time he moved, and just by the time you get and are able to see the city of Polro, which is right across the bridge, he is nowhere in sight in the city. Just on initial glance.
Can I get a scale for this map? How big is Drust in real world terms?
So the bridges are not the actual size, but Drust.
Okay.
Nyling's diameter is about 250 miles. So all the islands are to scale, but the bridges, I just need to show the islands are far enough away, so I just made the bridges whatever. The bridge is not actually 50 miles long.
I just sprinted 50 miles.
Pretty impressive.
Well, it was
Polro's must be a pretty small city.
Yeah, it's these are big things. That's what I'm saying. You don't see all of Polro. You look in and just get your initial glance, but you do not see the man you are chasing immediately in Polro.
So, are we all together with the guards, and then what's their name? The one with the dog thing is all the way at the other end of the bridge.
Elwyn is at the right edge of the bridge towards Drust. Everyone else, Elwyn and Conry are there. Everyone else is kind of at this end, the left end of it.
Okay, so I just look around to everyone else. I'm like, should we follow her?
He's still running?
At this point, you guys would see Elwyn is running she's almost basically at this point of having this conversation, she has almost gotten to Drust. You guys kind of see her moving towards there.
She is still chasing.
She is still in chase, but she from what you guys can tell, she is still moving towards there. With her dog kind of.
How long is the bridge?
I would say it's probably about
50 miles.
Well, no, it's not. That's what the bridges aren't correct. Because again, this one, there's one down here. I think it's that's 100 miles.
Yeah,
no.
Just a quick hundo.
It's probably about 350 feet or so. Somewhere around there.
It's we can run it in shoot.
It's
football
about a minute for you guys to just normal speed get across. Sprinting, you'd get there in about 30 seconds.
Is it would we be able to loudly call over to her and
it's about the length of the football field.
Yeah, it is. It's a little long.
Football field is 360.
Yeah, so it's around the football field length. So it's it would be hard for her to hear you, but in theory possible.
Okay,
There's other
so
noise
I
going
know
on, probably
I have a
not.
plan for this one.
I know you do.
Okay,
I know what spell you're talking about.
yeah. So I am going to cast Thaumaturgy. Yeah, and I'm going to just call over to her, and well, first I'm gonna say like, watch your ears to everyone else, and then I'm gonna call over to her and be like, "Hey, you good?"
Yeah, Ellen, from across the bridge, like right as you're about to get to like Drust and like kind of survey the scene, you just hear just a voice from across, just like, "Hey, you good?" And like it kind of echoes and stuff. Connery's ears like immediately you hear the sound of like creaking metal as his ears perk up, as he is a dog that is aware of sounds. He's like, huh?
Yeah. Elwyn will look back to Drust.
Alright, so
Look back to them. There's no use going in on my own. And Connery. And she'll start walking back.
Connery just like also having a similar idea of you of just like I want to survey the area, but and then kind of turning back like yep, and begins following back with you.
So are they walking like towards us or towards Drust?
No, they're walking back towards you.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the time you like kind of yelled to her, she was essentially at the thing at the entrance to Drust.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, head back. I assume it would be kind of like a meet in the middle type of thing. It's like you guys kind of move towards her, she moves towards you guys. So you guys kind of
I'll meander my way over there.
yeah, it's not like an extreme like either like sprinting at each other, but it's like, you know, kind of
Yeah.
reconvene in a closer location between the two.
Personally, I think it should be like a slow motion running towards each other.
No.
Because we like just met.
No.
By this point also like the two warforged that had been like injured, as well as like the two warforged that had come with Elwyn, just kind of like they help those two warforged help escort the other two back. So it is just you all and then Core's friend Ennius.
I'm probably like kicking a pebble on the way there.
That's fine. You guys kind of all meet up. What happens?
Who are you?
Just someone looking for answers.
I'm gonna turn to Owen and I'll be like, I don't know about this guy, but I'm Flint, and I shake their hand, or I like put my hand out to shake, you know?
They'll grasp your hand. Shake it. Elwyn.
I'm gonna check something for just full joking purposes here. All right. Elwyn does have a weaker grip than you on this handshake.
Yes.
Okay.
Quite possible.
Yeah. I would say that I probably have a pretty girthy handshake.
Yeah. Your hand is fairly large as you are a furbolg, but also you are just
Large.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. You engulf Elwyn's hand, and also she doesn't have enough care to really grip.
Yeah.
And I would say, like, pleasure to meet you.
Ellen, what did you say your race was again?
What race am I?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you never said that in the intro. I never like kind of explained.
Oh
that.
yeah.
No. Elwyn is a warforged. They are essentially robots.
I did say that, unlike the other Warforged,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
unlike
I'm just
the new
looking at
gen
pictures.
Warforged,
No,
she is a newer gen of Warforged.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, she is essentially there was the first batch that are like bronze that were for the original war. There's the newer batch which is like iron and silver, which was like the police force. Elwyn, it does not look like any of those designs. So you would assume it's probably a newer design and has like bits of gold as well as steel in her form.
Are
Same with
Warforged
her-
alive?
They're considered humanoids instead of constructs.
Cool.
They have souls, but
Oh, okay.
yeah.
It's black magic.
I mean,
It's just very different.
necromancy is one of the schools of magic they teach. Like everything's black magic in this world, essentially. But yeah, like they have personality, they have thoughts, they have feelings, they have emotions. They feel pain, they feel happy. Like they are essentially people. They're just made of metal. Unlike Conry, who is made of metal, but while it is argued that he has a soul because of the reasons he is here, he is more construct than sentient.
Where is the dog thing at this point?
Probably at Elwyn's side, like
Yeah.
kind of like not like harmfully glaring at you guys, but like just given what he is programmed to do, is on edge of new people.
So I will turn to Elwyn and be like, so respectfully, what the fuck is this thing? And point to the dog thing.
She'll look down at Conry, and Conry will look up at her. And they'll both look back to you at the same time. With, like, scary synchronization.
Yeah, you see that like the thing of like when like a camera does like focus, it's like they're all like both of Conry's eyes and both of Ellen's eyes do that sort of thing where it's like it like like it's like almost enhancing and like analyzing you before going back to normal.
Yeah, you can see these eyes behind the visor that she but she flips it up.
Yeah.
Mrs. Conry. He is my companion. Why?
Just never seen anything like it.
Cockerhead. He's just a dog.
Not any dog I've seen.
Vitrium's gonna look kind of longingly at Conry and then just pull out his deck of cards and start shuffling.
All right.
So.
Wow, great conversation we're having.
I know, right? I'm sorry, Elwyn is so dry.
God, I love social parts of D&D. It's
No, it's not even that. It's just the way that I planned Elwyn's character. She's not social at
that's
all.
fair. I get it.
She's just staring at you all.
So, with all due respect, then, what the bloody hell happened back there?
In what regard?
Who were we chasing? Why was he even? Who was it we were chasing? What did he do?
He knows something about the assassination.
Something, but we don't know what.
Yes.
Okay, what do you propose we do about that? Should we go storm into Dross and find this individual, or should we head back to the city center and figure out exactly what we need to do next?
Are there not like sirens going off and cops all over the place?
Oh yeah,
I'm just here looking for answers.
Yeah, there was a decent amount of like warforged, but you guys also ran like in like just a singular direction, like within probably 5 minutes of the attack happening. So it was very like you didn't get to see the aftermath of like after they cleared the area what happened, but you can assume there's like probably like a signal was sent out to get a lot of the police officers to that area. But it's only been like a few minutes, so you haven't seen like necessarily what has happened there.
I have to report back. It's nothing that I can handle on my own. And I have other duties to attend to.
I would just
Very
turn
well.
and look at the others, and I'd be like, so.
We're probably gonna head back to the city center, I guess, then, and keep looking for our answers. As I turn to my companion, if any of you would like to join us, drinks are on me for the first round at the nearest tavern.
I do love a good drink.
Ah, good. You can help me in my search, then.
What exactly is your search?
The search for everything and the search for nothing.
That's some philosophical bullshit.
But if you tag along, you will find out what it means. Isn't that the best part of it?
Look around, maybe like see how everyone else is reacting to this, and just, well, I guess I'll have nothing else to do right now.
Excellent. I kind of reach into my bag and pull out Parchment's quill, and I start writing up something. Here's the basic contract for your adventuring and arrangements for your funeral if need be. Just sign here on the dotted line, and everything will be good.
So we're on a bridge, right?
Yes.
I mean, it does have like walled elements to it, but
How high are the walls?
like probably like a good like 20 or so feet of like railing. It's built so that carts don't fall into the water if something were to
Are there
happen.
like gaps in the railing?
I mean, there's small enough ones, like kind of, but like, all right, what are you trying to get out of this? I'll just cut to the
So
chase.
like, theoretically, is there a space wide enough to throw a wad of paper?
Oh yeah, no, definitely, yeah. There's definitely one that like it's wide enough you could throw paper.
You're gonna litter?
You're gonna litter into the ocean.
Okay.
Oh, that's worse than murder.
You as
Aren't you supposed to be nature or something?
Are you a
I'll
bird?
just take it. I'll take it and I'll put it in my pocket and just not say anything.
Very well. If you need to think it over, then that's totally reasonable. It is a legally binding document. Or, yes, so think it over as you wish. But still, first round of drinks says need as we return back to the city.
oh,
Why do
Should
you
you-
carry a contract?
Why don't you? Anything can arise in situations that you might need a legally binding or soul binding documents, even.
Soul binding?
Are you familiar with blood pacts or other forms of contracts?
I don't know, am I?
I mean, you're familiar with the idea of contracts, but like you've never dabbled in blood pact type stuff before, Elwyn. Like
I don't have blood.
I'm
Don't
all the
know.
same.
that was the takeaway from
Either
this.
way.
You've never heard of a
That is
blood
neither
pact
here.
because I don't
That
have
is
blood.
neither here nor there. That is neither here nor there. First round of drinks are on me. Back to the tavern.
I'm gonna turn and look at Elwyn. Say, I think we're gonna need a lot of drinks for this one.
Just look over you.
Also, I would
I
like
don't-
to specify with your first ability that you have, Elwyn, the racial one you have. The word is need. You can. You don't need to.
Hang on.
It's the, I guess, second like capitalized sentence in that first ability.
Yeah, I know. It's just the first one. It's the first one that I'm worried about. Remember, because the effect for drunkenness is poisoned.
Oh yeah.
So,
I'm just informing you of like just because you don't need to doesn't mean you can't. You can
yeah.
if you'd like. So do you all make your way? Elwyn crossing the bridge to just sees the man rush in and then just turns back and like, all right, drink time.
Not that. She's not going drinking. She has to go back.
All right. So you all make your way back towards the center of town, or do you, or is only Elwyn going back to like this, like where the scene happened? Where is everyone going initially?
I'm gonna probably go back to the scene. Just
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go, but like right before we start walking, I like put my hand out in front of Conry's like nose and like quickly take it away because I don't really know what to do with it.
Wait, put what in front of his nose?
wait,
Like
what?
put
The
my
hand.
hand in front of the dog's nose to like so the dog can like smell me,
Okay.
and then like quickly take it away because I don't really know what to do with the dog.
He just looks up at you while walking past.
Yeah. All right. So as you guys make your way back towards like where the stage was built and everything, there is like roughly 2 warforged at like every road you can see, like blocking the entrance to getting into that like circular area. And there's rope set up essentially because well, you know, warforged like robots exist and like horseless carriages exist, as they're calling them.
And guns.
Police tape does not exist, so they have rope to cordon off the area. The 2 that are kind of on the road you guys are at turn and see Elwyn and Connery and move the rope out of the way, but as soon as they get inside, immediately put the rope back up. And Citizen Elwyn and Connery are an exception to this due to the circumstances, but we have to keep this area secure.
Of course.
I scoot back to the back of the group.
It's like, wow.
I'm just keeping an eye out for other signs of magical residue or anything that could at least give me answers.
Is that mark still there? That portal mark thing?
Oh no, the portal disappeared like almost as soon as the body was absorbed into it.
Oh, okay.
I just want to check something about your thing. Okay, no, you do not have that spell. Cool. Yeah, I mean, just getting a quick survey of this scene, and Elwyn, you get a better view of this as you're kind of walking through. The area has been fully cleared of like people except for the Warforged and the King and Xavier. Every other like essentially like person who was here with either has left the area except for the Warforged and them. There you see a few of the Warforged kind of like looking around like where the crowd was standing. You see a few of them on the stage looking at like where around the podium where the Queen was, and then you see a few kind of consoling the Prince and the King. The King, as he kind of like sees you approaching, tries to make his like regal appearance again. Like you can see like tears had been forming though, but Elwyn, you're back. Did you find anything? I saw you and a few of the other Warforged chase after someone.
He made his way into trust.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can always send more people in. I do not know if you would want to be one of them, but any service you're willing to provide towards this, obviously, is within your. While you are employed under us, you do still have your own choices, and while I would not make you go and try to hunt him down, I do know that you can be good at that sometimes. And your original purpose for being hired has changed over the years as Xavier has gotten older, but because to everyone who has not been aware of this, Xavier is about 16. He appears like mid-teens. But yeah, as you know, we
which one's Xavier?
Xavier is the prince.
Prince. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
The son of the queen who was murdered.
Yes.
Yes.
Assassinated, not just murdered. It's special murder.
It's murder with spice. It's murder with purpose.
Listen, you have to be someone really important to get assassinated. Most people just get killed, but getting assassinated, that's like classy.
It's classy murder.
Yeah. But yeah,
It's
no,
just
like,
some classic regicide.
so true. Uh, yeah, I mean, again, we would
Is
never.
regicide still a crime?
I don't know.
I wanted to look up if it was called regicide for killing a queen as well, because I know it's for a king. And one of the people also asked was, "Is regicide still a crime?" They're just gonna double check.
I mean, because like, well, kings and queens aren't like ruling over nations as much as
Yeah,
they are. Like, they're
but
more.
murder is
okay.
still illegal.
Yeah, no, murder's still illegal. That's why I'm like, I get the.
It's
I get
still.
as someone who asks dumb questions. Sometimes I get it. Like, I get like what they're going for. Of like, if you kill a king or queen, is that still regicide? But hey, but yeah, the king looks like, again, we would not force you to go look into this, but if you would want to, some of the Warforged did come back, saying that you did aid them in, the attack that happened on them near the bridge.
Indeed.
So, they also mentioned a few other individuals, but I don't know how to feel about that.
Samaritans that seem to have wanted to assist.
I mean, do they seem trustworthy, or did they seem like they were also involved in whatever happened to whatever event led to this?
They're strange. I don't think they were involved.
Okay, well, that's good, at least, because the less people that are involved with this, the easier it is to stop whatever it is. But yeah, again, it comes down to, would you want to look into this yourself, or?
Well, my duty is to protect this family, but it is also to protect Xavier. Is Xavier there?
Oh yeah, he's there. You see, like, he is far. Like, the king intentionally brought you away from this, where it's like, yes, he is 16, but he just saw his mother die about like 20 feet from him, so he's processing that, and like, a combination of teen angst as well as trauma is just kind of like, he is visibly upset, and just like, this, like, the king does not want this conversation happening in front of him. Like, he's kind of to the side. Like, he's close enough that if you wanted to, you could intentionally call him over, but it's like far enough away that like quiet enough conversation is not going to like be heard by him.
I don't know if Xavier would want me to.
So your decision rests on Xavier's opinion on you doing this.
Yes.
Okay, I mean,
My job is to look after Xavier.
I agree. That is what you were made for. But as I stated, your purpose within these years that you've worked under us, you've had to do other things outside of just protect him, though your main focus has always been protecting, which I value that you've stayed to that principle. And he kind of like gestures towards Xavier to come over, and
He's already lost one person.
You see him as he's kind of walking over, like doing the like tough guy act of like, I wasn't crying.
Ellerin already sees through his bullshit. Doesn't have high insight, but she knows him.
Yeah, you've known this kid since since he was like 2-ish, like.
Yeah.
You've known him for over a decade. You can fairly read. You can read this kid fairly well. And his father turns to him and is just like, so, Elwyn was able to, follow from a safe enough distance the man who we assume is connected with the event, you can see both of them avoiding trying to like actually address what happened there with the phrasing there. And she found that he went into Drust, and her decision on whether or not she will be part of the group that goes to investigate it depends on your opinion of it. Would you want Elwyn to do that, or would you prefer that she stay with us and make sure we stay safe? You see him kind of pause for a little bit. You see Xavier pause and before turning you into like, I know you can do what's right. I know you'll be able to find out why this happened to her. And I mean, we should be safe back in Phoenicia. And obviously we're gonna. He like turns to like we probably increase the guard force, but because you are, as someone from Phoenicia, you are aware of one of the main things about Phoenicia, which is the anti-magic field over the whole city. So whatever happened there here today probably can't happen back in Phoenicia, but it would just mean that we probably would have to stay out there until we know what happened. But I think you'd be able to do it. I think you'd be able to find out what happened.
Xavier. This isn't just about protecting you.
It's not?
She'll just put her hand on his back.
And kind of put your hand between where the wings are, because he does have his like angel wings essentially. But yeah, I mean, it's not just about. I mean, you might be right, but staying with us, you might be able to keep us safe that way. But if someone like him is out there, it's protecting us to find out what is happening. You'll be fine.
I will be, but will you?
I should be.
I'll find who did this.
Thank you.
She'll pat his head.
As you kind of like begin to leave from the stage, he does like hug you as you're going away, like from behind. He's like as you kind of exit. What do the other three of you do after being kind of like the rope? Like Elwyn has been let in through the rope, and you guys are told not to go through. What do you guys do?
Investigate.
Okay, from like the out. Okay, I guess you could like what are you doing to investigate?
I'm looking around. I'm not really sure what to look for.
Okay, I guess you could like follow the road that like the guy had run down originally, to kind of like look to see traces of anything. Yeah, make an investigation check. Okay. Yeah. So you follow the road for a little bit, and you see a portion where it appears like there's like broken wood on the ground, like a piece of wood that was snapped in half. And you recall in the original like circular area, as well as right at the end of the bridge, there was like he broke like a piece of wood, and then something happened. You see these like pieces of wood on the ground, and with your like not like rudimentary, but like with the level of like arcane knowledge you have, these do not appear. While you saw these were broken and then an effect happened, these do not appear to have any magical energy associated with them. These just appear to be like normal pieces of wood.
Okay. I'm gonna pick up the broken pieces that I found, though. Take it with me.
Yeah, that's yeah. If you would like, you can add like wood pieces to your inventory. There should be like a plus button at the bottom of the list of items, and you can just like name it whatever. I don't care about the weight of items.
Okay.
I don't care about the weights of items. The only time weight matters is like say a character goes unconscious and needs to be like dragged. I factor in the weight of the character as well as the armor they're wearing into like how heavy something is. Everything else I don't really care about the weight for because it's doesn't really matter too much. Cool. The other two, anything you guys want to do?
I'm just gonna
going to get drinks.
Yeah, that's where I'm heading. Yeah,
Cool. All right.
Wherever me and my friend are saying.
Mm-hmm.
I'll kind of just stand around in the town square, like shuffling my feet, looking back between like the guy that just left and Elwyn and like Connery in that group, and I'll just decide to like hang around in the town square and wait for Elwyn to finish.
Okay.
Just kind of like looking around, like playing with my thumbs.
All right, that's fine. Yeah. So, I will cut to the scene with Core then of, you guys like arrive at like this kind of tavern. It's not too far from like the like the central like circle area you guys were at, but like it's far enough away where it's like there aren't police presence there, but it is visibly like less full than normal. You and Ennius kind of got like drinks and just kind of sit and discuss. It's like, well, that was something. That's why I said earlier, like trying not to get wrapped up in things like that. But
Ennius, you have to understand though, I'm looking for answers here. Answers. Just
I know, like
something.
Yeah, I mean, I understand where you're getting with this, where it's like you think there's answers behind why he did this. You think you'll be able to find something.
There's answers to everything. It's all puzzles. It's all riddles. Everything is connected.
Yeah, but like again, I can't tell where I don't know where you're coming from. I can't relate to what you're feeling, so I can't be like, no, don't do it. Because like personally, I just want to go back to like my life of just hunting again. I don't want to try to get wrapped up in, stopping someone who assassinated the queen of our country and everything. Like,
and I blame you not for any of that. And if worst comes to worst, I might have to set out on my own and find my own answers.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm busy.
You gonna be okay alone out there though? Like,
we'll see. If I find, try and encourage the other fellows who chased the assailants to accompany me, but they seem like they're also looking for answers. And if we can all go look for answers together, then I think I'll be just fine.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they will be capable. It's just like the thing I worry about is like it hasn't yet, but like, what if it gets worse? Like,
Yeah.
Like, what if this past year goes away? How are you gonna be okay? We still don't know what happened to make you like this, but
And that's why I must go seek answers.
there's nothing I can say to convince you, is there? You're gonna do this no matter what.
I'm presented with an opportunity I can't pass up. It's literally calling to me to go find out the answers.
All right. I mean,
So no, there's nothing that I think you can say to steer me off this path. But once this path comes to an end, then maybe I'll make my way back towards the village, back to the forest.
yeah, I mean, that's all I can ask is like, if I can't convince you to give up on trying to hunt this down, the best is that if things get worse or if you're ever in the area, just like, reach out
And, yeah,
to me.
and yes, you are a hunter of beasts.
Mm-hmm.
I am a hunter of knowledge. We have two separate preys. yours. You have yours.
Yeah.
And once I come back victorious from my hunt, we shall celebrate, we shall dine, make merry, and who knows? I might have a pelt or two for you.
Just don't get yourself killed. Like,
I
Okay.
promise nothing.
all right. You guys just kind of share conversation, some laughs about him basically being like, "Hey, be safe," and you're like, we'll see what happens."
Pretty much.
Uh,
During this time, if I can I try to learn, start the process of learning a different, like a first level spell?
what do you mean? Like switching out
So,
one
like,
of yours?
No, not switching out. Like, I'm trying to add a spell to my spell book.
You
Or
would
is that
need
something
you
I'm
would
going
need to
to do?
find a spell scroll to add that.
Okay.
Because from how both the game works, as well as like from what we kind of discussed, your spellbook has like
Yes, I remember this now. Okay.
you have a filled out spellbook, but
Right. Yep,
so,
I remember this now.
yeah, the only way to add new spells is either level up or find a spell scroll,
Okay.
and then you'll be able to copy that spell into your spellbook, and then you'll always have that as an option to prepare.
Okay, yeah, I remember this. Cool. I'm gonna switch out Knock for Shatter then.
You
if I
need
can.
a can you do that on short rest, or you need a long rest? I think you need a long
I
rest.
think. Yeah, I think you might be right.
Yeah.
I'm honestly, it's been so long.
Which is fine. Like, it's like, yeah. I mean, that just means like the next day. I can check to make sure though. Just because I know Wizards has something. Oh no, Wizards can recover spell slots on a short rest.
That's what it was.
But yeah, you have to wait until a long rest.
Long
to
rest,
Switch
okay.
out your prepared spells.
Okay, no, that's all good. Yeah, I'm just kind of chilling. I'm waiting for the rest to come find me for the free drinks at that point. Then.
All right. Yeah. So we will cut back to the scene then of Elwyn just kind of after getting out of Xavier's grasp of his "I'll see you again, but like be safe" kind of hug.
Yeah.
Yes, mother.
As you kind of leave with like Connor, you see the Furbolg that had kind of attempted to help in the fight at the bridge, kind of waiting there, looking in your direction.
She'll flip down her visor.
Yeah, he is waiting outside the rope because they did not let anyone except for you in because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
At this point, I've walked back over to the Furbolg.
Yeah, I figured you kind of just did like a quick search of the area before heading back.
You still here?
Had nothing else to do, really. I mean, I'm not gonna go in a big city searching for answers on my own. And you clearly need to know. You clearly know something because you must have known the queen to be sitting up there with her.
I work under her.
What exactly do you do for her?
I protect and care for her son.
I see.
That's what I was made to do.
This wood. Have you ever seen anything like this wood? It seems completely normal. I don't understand how he was doing that.
I'll like look over Elwyn's shoulder as she's messing with it. And can I take it from you and say like, would you mind? Or like, can I see this for a second?
Sure.
Please.
And then I'm going to sit down and I'm going to cast Detect Magic as a ritual spell.
Ooh, okay.
Just because I don't want to use a spell slot, even though it doesn't really matter. Because
yeah. So you see this the Furbolg man just sit down and kind of look at these things, and just like wind begins like circling him, and like the smells of like new crops and stuff as he's just kind of focusing this magic. And yeah, you detect magic on it, and there it does not appear magical at all. It appears to be just like normal wood. I'm just making sure of something. Checking the inventories of the other players to make sure they don't have magic items. I don't think they do. Yeah, I mean, the closest you sense is like there's a little bit of like magic coming off of like the wand that the man has, the Dragonborn.
Yeah.
Also, because this is as you guys have kind of paused a little bit and been like seeing all of each other like in close proximity. While this Dragonborn is silver, it's not in like the metallic sense. Like looking closer, it's not like the shiny silver that you normally see. It is more of like a color silver rather than metal silver. That is all I will say on that.
So like gray.
Yeah.
Suspicious.
Yeah, it is more of a gray as on closer. Like there is some shininess of like the scale element to it, but it is not like the metal type of scale.
Okay.
Yeah, that is all.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they are. This is not magical, and the only kind of magic you sense in this immediate, even from the construct like dog thing and the warforged, like there's no magic coming off of that.
Okay.
They
So
just
I'm
kinda
just gonna. Okay. So I'm just gonna look at them and be like, well, it's wood.
I see. That's what I thought as well.
I did see your wand there, but that was about it.
Well, I believe drinks were mentioned.
I second that.
I'm just going to start heading towards the tavern.
Yeah, I mean, you guys saw like Core head off in like a direction with his friend, so if
Yeah.
you're planning on meeting up with him, you kind of would just head in the same direction. Do all of you go?
I don't know.
Do it.
I'm gonna look at Owen and say, you can tag along if you want.
She'll just kind of look back, look towards you. Dragon, when so a group to be sent into Drust, would she have to report to anybody for that, or would she just go alone?
From your understanding, it's probably like he will be sending people, but it's also like if you want to also investigate, he will not stop you. It's essentially
Okay.
it's like you can either come back to Phoenicia with us and like continue to kind of protect, or you can like do your own, like start investigating if you want to bring the other group that you've met up with, like that's a thing. It's essentially like as I kind of alluded to earlier, the other group had seen your character. In that version, you decide to stay and protect Xavier.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I had
This is AU.
Yeah, I literally had like you like when the shot first hit the queen, I had your character just cover Xavier's body immediately, like you're shielding him. Like that was like that's fair. But yeah, no, so it's essentially he's not saying like meet up with a group. It's more of a like I will be sending some like Warforged and maybe some of my own guards, but also if you would like to investigate on your own, you have the capability and permission to do that.
Okay.
So you're free to grab your own group if you'd like. Some call that a party. Some people.
Yeah. Owen will look back towards the stage, look back towards you guys, and start walking.
Cool.
Tag along behind you.
Yeah, so you guys eventually arrive at this tavern. It's fairly close by, so it's the first one you check. And you see like the man and his like wood elf friend that he was with, just kind of like drinking, laughing, talking. What you'd expect.
Over here! I just jump up and I start waving.
You can tell they're probably a few drinks in.
Barkeep, a few more drinks over here. On in a cup of oil, if you will.
That. Oh.
I'm gonna like look at the rest of the people that are with me and like just look around and be like, okay.
Ellen's gonna like lean over to I believe Felix.
Who?
Flint. I was like, wait a minute.
It's
I
on the
forgot.
Roll20.
I was looking. Shut up. Shut up. Anyway. She'll just lean over to Flint. Was that racist?
What racist?
Ordering a can of oil.
Potentially.
Huh.
And when we sit down, okay, so is it like a 4-person table?
I mean, they're like they found like essentially like a booth type thing, like because he did he did invite you all to get drinks with him, so they sat in a spot where they're like more people can join. So
Okay, so it's a booth.
like a booth that could probably fit like 6 to 8 people.
Okay, so I'm gonna sit on the opposite side of the guy that gave me the weird scroll. Is that him?
The weird what?
Scroll? The contract.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna sit on the opposite side of him, but like on the end.
All
so
right.
like I'm the farthest away from him.
Okay.
On the booth, there's 2 other additional parchments of paper, just face down.
Ellen is just standing awkwardly.
Please sit. He grabs the cup of oil and puts it on the ground for the dog.
Oh, it's for the dog. Okay.
Okay, I was gonna say, I feel like that's kind of racist.
Yeah, so yeah, he puts the oil on the ground and like little thing, and like Conry like starts drinking some of it because that is actually like not needed for Conry to survive, but like
it's polite, I guess.
It is beneficial to him in some capacity. It is less beneficial to a warforged.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But like for Conry being like more like less sentient than Elwyn is. Yeah.
Please join us.
I'll stand up.
You've had a long day. No, you've had a long day. You need to relax. Rest.
I'll stand up on my side of the booth and let Elwyn like go in, like to the booth, on my side.
Yeah.
I'm still on the end.
I like the idea that you knew you were going to sit like across from this dude, but you still sat down first, moving out of the front so you could get into the booth.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But like, I'm like sitting like half on the booth. Like I'm not fully there. I'm like ready to leave.
Mm-hmm. For brevity's sake, we'll all get into the booth. Sit where you prefer to sit, and anyway. And
I would also prefer to sit on the end, but I can't.
You see Cora's friends go, yes, I guess introductions are in order. I'm Ennius, just a hunter up in...
How do you spell that?
Ennius. I'm checking his sheet to make sure that is spelled correctly.
That is correct.
Yeah. Just a hunter up in Eleanor.
Hunter? Well, what do you hunt?
Just beasts and other stuff. It's a way to make money, provide food, stuff like that. Like nothing too impressive.
I'm gonna give him a side eye.
I mean, it's a living. I'm just making sure. Yeah. Okay.
And a modest one at that. This is one of the best shots up in the Northeast.
And my intoxicated friend here is Core. I was gonna say I'm sorry for him. Like I'm sorry for what he's going to say to you all here, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. He's an interesting case.
Sure.
And you can see like Ennius is like looking at the papers that Core has face down, because Ennius fully saw you like Core writing those and just knows what is happening. But yeah, who are y'all?
I'm looking around and I'm not going first.
You there, Mr. Silver? Is the Dragonborn? Yes. Who are you? What is your
Arbitrium.
story? Arbitrium. Where do you hail from? Who are your people?
Fuck.
Good question.
Hold on. Hold on.
It is.
Damn it.
I know. It's here. I gotta read it again.
I think it would be. I mean, you technically you have a choice on what you want to answer here, but like how specific you want to get as well. But if there are words you don't know how they're pronounced, I can tell you if you're not sure of things because of place names are being weird. Yeah, there is. Yeah, the one described in like the character backstory part of your sheet is like the original place. The second one is the one to the east of that on the map. Like
One to the east. Which one's? Where's my dad from?
Obius. He's from Obius.
Okay.
It is it's this like.
Yeah, I saw it.
It's like that region. Probably from like Rocksturt or Sol, whichever you prefer that to be. But yeah, Obius is the name of it.
Obius. To answer the question, then.
Yes, cool. Very interesting. No idea where that is, but very interesting. Yes. And what is it that you do? Are you a martial dealer who carries great weapons? Are you a connoisseur of the arcane art? What is it that you do? I'm looking for answers here.
Card tricks mostly.
Hat tricks,
Card.
card tricks. Magic.
I pull out my deck and start shuffling.
Intriguing. Very interesting, fellow. Alright, who's next then? Miss Warforged.
My name is Elwyn.
Ellen, very lovely name. And your little companion here?
That's Connery.
I see. And you are in service to the king and the queen then, yes. Is that your primary duty as well? You function to guard them?
I guard their son.
Noted, and you seem to be very capable, very strong.
Yes.
Righto, we'll be of need of you. And last but not least, our large friend here.
I am
did not catch your
7'6", by the way.
Yeah, I'm 5'8", so you're giant to me.
Yeah, Dragonborn and Furbolg are both very tall races normally, but it's just like they're still
think-
medium creatures.
Aren't Warforged also very big?
They can be, but like I would assume with like you being the design you are, you're probably not like built to be tall. You were built to be like a comforting figure.
Yeah.
'Cause-
So probably more around like a standard.
yeah, like around like normal like human height.
But am I taller
I mean, I can.
than Core?
I can.
Are you taller than 5'8"?
I don't know.
I mean, you didn't fill out that portion of your sheets, so.
I don't know because I
Do
haven't
you want to
decided.
be?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. You can decide like if you would like to be. That's why I was like you. That's part of why I was like you guys can. I prefer people fill those out sort of like because it's like oh here's like a height thing. Because it's like oh like you because that also depends on like if someone tries to like jump and grab a ledge. Like how high can they reach with a jump sort of thing is dependent on height. But I don't know, you're all sitting down, so for the sake of it, it's like you're all roughly like eye levels, like probably like the Furbolg and the Dragonborn are a little bit higher eye level, but like you're all roughly like
All in the legs.
all of you have your height only in your legs. That is where the
Oh my gosh.
no. But no, it's like for the sake of it, it's like you guys are all like, I would assume you'd probably be like closer to what is like average female height, because like Elwyn does have a more feminine design, as you said. So I would assume probably closer to like the 5'3", 5'4" range.
Yeah.
Um,
It's either 5'3" or 5'4", or it's as tall as Camille from League of Legends,
I don't
which
know.
is
Oh my.
6'10".
I would say
Jeez.
probably not that.
Yeah, no.
Given what you're designed for. Yeah, a two-year-old like half tiefling, half Asmar sees this just almost 7 foot tall robot, and it's like, yeah, that's comforting.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Anyway, Furbolg.
Yes, hi, that's me.
Yes.
What about me?
Who are you? Who are your people? Where are you from? What is it that you do? I'm looking for answers.
Well, my name's Flint. I'm from a Melanor, clearly a different part than you are. I'm a farmer. It's just me and the land. I do a lot of trading too. It's how I make. It's a living. I mean, make some money, just enough to feed myself.
You just farm, or do you have any sets of skills? I saw you do something over there on the bridge. What was all that?
I mean, I do pray a lot to Arowai, the god of nature and fertility. Let's just say I've been through some stuff, and
cleric.
she has helped me through a lot.
I see, a holy man. Very well. So let's get down to brass tacks. And I
You
take
never
the...
said anything about yourself there.
Oh yes, I am. Greetings to you all. My name is Core. That's all I know about myself. I am a practitioner of, I think, of what you might call magic. That's really all I can remember. A few months ago, I woke up in the Quies Forest up in Elminor, and have been in the care of my friend Ennis here ever since. I have no memory of my past. I am looking for answers, and who I am, and where I am from, who my people are, as well as who I was before 3 or 4 months ago. I'm drawing a blank. I just don't know. So, I'm looking for answers. Which brings me to you. Because I have noticed you were also looking for answers. And I flip over the 2 pieces of paper, one in front of Aberdrim and one in front of Elwyn. And on that piece of paper is a contract. Not a magical contract by any means, but it is a written contract for funeral arrangements and a statement saying that we will adventure together to find answers. So, here's what I'm proposing. Read it over. It's very simple. It's mostly involving funeral arrangements and outlining just kind of a mission statement, if you will, that we are here to look for answers. You have your answers that you seek. I have my answers that I seek. This can be a mutually beneficial arrangement here. We can use this to be stronger in numbers and figure out what happened to the queen just hours ago. It was a very unfortunate event, but again, we don't know why, we don't know how, so we are looking for answers. So, what I propose is this, is that we all form together as a sort of a cohesive unit at that, and go and investigate this on our own matter. If you would, that sounds agreeable. If there's anything you'd like to add to that, please voice it now. I'm very open to modifications for this said contract. Otherwise, if you would like, you may sign on the bottom line just your name or initials, even. That works too. It's still binding. And once we do that, we can plan our next plan of action. If you choose not to, no hard feelings. We can go our separate ways. But I think this is the most mutually beneficial arrangement for us.
Okay, I get all that, but why do we have this contract and not just say we're like a group?
Because someone's word doesn't mean anything unless it's in writing. Is what I have learned in the 2 months that I actually remember something. I've been swindled a lot. It's very, very pitiful. But writing is always better, is what I've learned.
Does this contract hold up in a court of law? Like, how does this work in this world?
I don't think this holds up in a court of law. This is handwritten.
Ennius kind of speaks in here. He's like, yeah, no, I'm technically the witness to this if this is the thing, and it's like I got no like legal ability over any of this, so like.
Isn't the most legal person here Elwyn?
Probably. Yeah, Elwyn is probably the closest to like a legal sort of like anything that holds legal ground, and I'm like, yeah, it's like he's just doing this just so I get where he's coming from. It's more of a thing of like you promise to help him and like not backstab him kind of stuff.
Please don't kill me, please.
Yeah, that's the main thing he wants. Is just like he wants it in writing that you guys are gonna like work together and not just like if you find answers like steal them from him or something like that. Like you just
help me find my memory, and I'm gonna help you do whatever the hell you.
Yeah.
This is my promise to you. Is what the contract is saying.
Yeah. So.
I have one question before I sign.
I have answers. I love answering questions.
You do say the word answer a lot for someone that hasn't given us a single answer for you.
I think you've given plenty of
How are you planning on going about jogging your memory?
Looking for answers.
And how will you do that?
Traveling so far. I've just been traveling around. I've been to Elminor and various corners of that region there, looking for things to help me jog my memory. Something I just might remember. Someone who even might remember me. I'm simply looking for answers.
Well, I will say, we're both from the Case Forest, and I certainly don't remember you. I think I would.
It's a big forest, my friend.
It sure is.
Wow, it is a big forest.
It is 100 miles. It's 100 miles of forested land.
How do you do that?
There's a ruler thing below, like again with stuff like that, like any markings like that, like,
don't spam it.
It's the thing because like that is visible to like anyone watching the stream. It's visible to like anyone like who can see the Roll20 up. It's the same with like during combat, instead of because we can't physically point somewhere, it's like, oh, I want to like move to this square, like you can just hold down and it'll ping. That's another thing, like don't spam it, but like you can ping like I think when I was like, oh yeah, you were from Obius, I pinged like that region, so he kind of understood. Just same with the one thing I will say, there is a thing that lets you draw shapes or lines. Do not touch that ever. Do not use that. Trying to remove the small amounts of like marks that people make is the worst. So it's always like if I'm going to like if you guys are going to do a spell that has an area, I will draw the shape myself because then I can delete it easier. But yeah,
There is a hide from others option.
there is, but it's also just like I just like that. That's for the ruler, but it's also like typically when you have the ruler, it's like so other people can see it anyway. Like oh, it's this far away. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I'm just holding the contract up and reading it right
yeah,
now.
I mean, I can tell you he means no harm with any of this. He's just trying to make sure that you guys mean no harm too. I've already discussed this with him, and I'm not part of this group that's going out there. I want to get back to just doing my own thing. But me and Core have an understanding that if shit hits the fan, he knows where to go back to.
Owen's just gonna look over at Core like, have you tried just getting fixed?
Yes.
I am not gonna sign this, but if I wanted, all I'm gonna say is if I wanted to hurt you by now, I probably would have. If any of us wanted to hurt each other, I feel like we would have. We had plenty of opportunities.
I will accept this for now. If you choose to sign it later, please let me know.
I'll be sure to keep in touch.
In touch, we'll be traveling together. We'll have instant access to me whenever you want.
Oh, joy.
That does mean in touch, though, doesn't it?
It sure does.
What is this about funeral arrangements?
Oh, and in case of untimely demise or fatal accidents or anything that might happen during our journey from an outside party. Should any of us fall, we know what to do with your remains.
Do we write them down?
There's a section on the back, yes.
Do you have a pen?
I hand her a
I would like to point out that her intelligence is 9. Her intelligence and her wisdom are 9.
I'm just enjoying every second of this.
I would like to point out that Connery has more wisdom than Elwyn.
Yup. Shut up.
Seems that court presumes them to be very wise.
Well, I mean, maybe Core's
That's
wise. Who knows?
Maybe I'm just acting.
My favorite thing about this too is like you are a few drinks in and you're still like this is the thing you're keeping serious about, those like these contracts. Like there are times where like everything else you're discussing you're like slurring your words, but like these contracts you're serious about.
I'm trying to make a point here, Julian. I'm trying to make a point here.
Pen.
Will.
Pen.
I don't have a quill.
Will. I just keep handing her quills from my bag every time she asks.
Yeah, like you've. Does it say how many you have?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't say how many. Oh no, you have an ink pen as you.
Yeah.
I mean, you would get flavor that as a quill. But no,
Yeah,
like,
I'd
but
like
you have
okay.
one that you're just like, no, this is all I have.
I need this back.
You three have to share if you're gonna sign. Each take turns. Okay. Anyway, I will to speed this up.
Elwyn will sign.
The idea is essentially you guys
Okay.
either sign or agree, like at least keep the paper in terms of like, I didn't sign it, but at least like I don't mean harm. Or just like.
That's what I already agreed to.
Do we have an accord?
Yeah, that's essentially you guys agree that you will work together.
Yes.
So we. you guys go towards Drust as Ennius makes his way back towards Emelinor,
Yeah, sounds good.
crossing the bridge into Drust. Now that you guys are officially going there, you see the first city, which is basically right across the bridge.
I do have a question.
Yes, what is your question?
Are the brambles that were there before still there?
No, the brambles disappeared shortly after the hyena things went away.
Okay.
Well, went away as in they died. The carcasses are still there of the creatures.
Okay.
But yeah, crossing the bridge and entering into this the walled off city of Drusk, because every island has a large wall around it with a gate that kind of leads in. You see kind of like a not like full on city, but like a decent sized like town. Cobblestone roads and then either like stone or brick houses throughout. You see less people than are normally here, but like still a decent amount for like a village of this size. But you also assume most of them probably went to to Nyling for the festival. What's the plan?
Ellen, you seem to know the finer details of what it is we're here to look for. Do you have any suggestions?
Well, the only lead that we have was that man. So finding somebody with his description is probably our first course of action.
And what did you say he looked like?
What did he look like again?
Oh yeah, you use the accent, so I didn't know if you were referring to asking Elwin in character, or if you were just asking the Dia. Oh no, the best description, because like Elwin got the closest to him. It was like human, like a human man. Let me find his actual description. Human man, taller than you, about probably like somewhere above 6 feet. Tan skin, black like shoulder length hair, and brown eyes. He looked to probably be in like his like late 30s, if you had to guess.
Are there any like bright colors or anything that we could quickly see on his clothing?
No, he appeared to be wearing like various like browns and other stuff like that. It was nothing like dramatic.
Okay. So the same thing that everyone else is wearing.
Yeah, it's a very like it is something that like you would wear to either like to blend in to surroundings. It is not something that like to stand out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We're in Polro now, you said?
Yeah, you're in Polro. It is the first city in Drust.
There's also that sigil.
That is true. You guys should all be able to see the sigil as a handout thing.
Yeah.
I'll reference it.
We should also look for information on that.
Is there a library in this?
Yeah. There's one that like doubles as both like a library and a bookstore, where it's like there's a section where it's like reserved for specifically like you can look at this, but you cannot leave the building with it. And there's parts where it's like we sell these things because they're either used or damaged library books, or they're ones that like they like acquired and are trying to sell. It is a building called Polro Imports. So you guys are heading there?
Sounds good.
All right. I mean, yeah, walking in, you see the store is almost like completely empty. There's one woman here, a human woman, probably around her like late 50s. She appears like kind of focused on like something she's like writing, but outside of that, like just she's the only one in here.
I don't suppose we have like a sketch of the sigil.
Oh no, the sigil. There should be a handout. If you go to the like.
I mean, in character.
In character.
Oh no, it's none. The sigil was not there long enough. Like it's saying like it's visible enough that like you could describe it, but it was not there long enough that any of you guys would have been able to like sketch out. If you wanted to, you could like sketch it out, but none of you have currently said you do that. But it was a visible enough thing that like you could probably do a decent enough sketch if needed. I swear if I open the I thought I was gonna open the Discord chat and just see that Amy had done a drawing of it.
No. No. That's not it.
No, it's also that both Furbolg and Cleric were spelled wrong.
Yeah.
I really like.
I'm sorry, Jacob.
It's fine. No, I mean Furbolg isn't a common race.
Oh, that's how you spell Furbolg if you Google it. With a U?
No, it's spelled with an I, at least for.
Oh,
Yeah.
all of these
Yeah,
results
Mia-
have it with a U.
I mean, yeah.
For World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
That'll be it then. That must be it.
But yeah, so yeah, you see like essentially one woman in here, like late 50s.
Contract you. You'd probably be good at finding books.
Quite. What type of books are we looking for?
I don't know. Why'd we go here?
Did I get a good look at the symbol?
Yeah,
Would you say?
all of you guys would have gotten like a good enough one. It's just none of you have said that you spend the time to like draw out the sigil again because for a while.
I'm gonna bust out my pen and draw it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you.
I
I mean,
remember
like
what it
you
looks
probably
like.
get a little bit different than the pattern that's like actually shown here because like there's a lot of complex lines, but you get the general idea of like how it looks.
Can we kind of just spend like a few hours going through reference materials then of
You're
no
Assassination
organizations?
hours doing this?
I'm gonna go talk to the
I mean,
lady.
I'm gonna spend time going through that. I don't know how long
like
it's
you
gonna
could,
take.
you probably like, I mean, like, yeah, you can probably like do the sketch and then like I will have you guys if you want to like try to
Yeah,
find
well-
like that reference in a book that is doable.
Yeah, I'm looking for the reference in a book.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk to the lady first.
Okay.
I'm going to look for the D&D equivalent of like gardening for dummies and like
Cool.
critique the methods used.
Okay.
You're just
cool.
like, nah, we're not gonna find this good.
Before we get to the conversation with the woman, what is Elwyn doing?
She's probably just like, if we're going to look for reference, it would probably be about assassination guilds, rogue guilds, and rogue groups.
Okay, so are you looking into information on that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We will have the conversation with the librarian first, and then depending on what happens there, maybe all four of you will roll investigation. At least three of you are. I'll see what Arbitrium has to roll. But yeah, you walk up to the woman who, at this point, has like now noticed that, like as you're approaching, has noticed the presence of other people in this building. It's like, yes, yeah. How may I help you?
Hello, miss. I'm hoping you can help me out here. I'm doing a bit of research on a project right now. Have you seen this symbol? And I cast Prestidigitation to make the symbol appear.
Ooh. Yeah, you make a little like version
Like
of
a little
it,
sheet
kinda,
of paper nearby. I think it has to be on an object.
Yeah, like you like one of the blank pieces of paper she has near her. You make
Yeah.
the symbol appear on not that I can recall. This is honestly something that my husband might know more about, but and her voice kind of trails off on that.
Oh, what's he about?
He's a researcher, but unfortunately he is MIA, let's say.
I don't suppose he'll be back anytime soon.
I hope he is, but that's part of the issue, is I'm not sure where he is. He gets on these crazy ideas, looking into things, but
Oh, really? Like what? Where's he at right now, do you think?
I mean, I hope it's following his own lead rather than, fearing for the worst there that he, got mixed up in something he shouldn't have gotten mixed up in. I avoid his study for that specific reason. I don't want to find out he's been doing something that I don't want to know about.
What did you say his study was exactly?
I mean, no, it's his study is like the room. I mean, like his like a study as like
Oh, I see.
like his office essentially.
Yes.
He looks into like strange things that have happened. There have been some people missing from the town, and he thought that had connections to something. But again, I try to stray from getting involved with that because I want to keep myself safe. And clearly, I might be right about my idea there that looking into this is not going to keep him safe.
I just
Well,
kind
perhaps
of
we can
mumble to
help you out a
myself.
bit.
I'm just kind of mumbling to myself. Oh, so many answers to be sought. So many answers.
Would you say, Arbitrum?
Well, perhaps we can help each other out a bit. It sounds like he might be just the guy we're looking for. If you might want to point us in the right direction, we'd be happy to go look for him ourselves.
I mean, I shouldn't let you into his study because again, like it's his. I tried to avoid going in there, but I mean, if you think it'll help find him, he just disappeared like a few days ago. About three or so days ago, he just didn't come home. And
No, well, I don't think it could hurt.
yeah, I mean, he's had nights where he didn't come back, but and
Why don't you just pop that door open and we'll take a look?
yeah, all right. So she like pulls a key out from a drawer and unlocks this room, and upon entering, you see just like imagine someone who's like how do I even describe? Like they have like the red pieces of string connecting like documents, and like they're just like not insane, but like they're just like looking for every connection possible. There's a word I'm trying to think of, but I can't think of what it is. Oh my god.
Crazy.
Well, not crazy, but like conspiracy theorist, like that kind of level of thing where it's like there's like connections between everything. So
Holy mother of Myrtle.
yeah. So to those reading, looking for the books on specific things or trying to find books about those specific things, make an investigation check. For Arbitrum, who's looking through. Ooh, fun. Who's looking through this guy's room? Make a history check as you try to piece together what is happening here.
That's
Nice.
not great.
Can I? No, I'm
I
going
mean,
through
it's
the
like
book. Never
you
mind.
would be able to assist Flint, but it's not helpful to you because he's looking for something unrelated to this all.
Yeah.
But and helping
About
essentially
me?
would just give advantage to the roll. But Arbitrum's looking for his own thing, so that's a 7.
Yeah.
So yeah, Core and Elwin.
I was
Yes.
looking through books in the immediate vicinity for just anything resembling the symbol.
Yeah. All right. So,
I was going through guilds that would probably be behind this.
yeah. So both of you roll your investigations to see if you can find like information on these things.
Investigation.
Yeah, investigation.
So,
Ooh.
Oh!
because my
Finally, a
favorite
good roll.
because my favorite enemy is humanoids, would I get advantage?
Yeah, I would give you advantage of this because to your knowledge, it is connected to humans. So because you are going on the idea of, I will say though, your role will then give you if there are ties that have less humanoid resemblances, you won't find that information. But if you don't take the advantage, you will find the broader like you might find more information that deals with like what else they are connected to. But so that I will give you that choice then.
I'll take the advantage.
Okay, yeah, I figure I will give the option.
Humans.
Nice. Both were good rolls either way. So, yeah. So going in order here, Flint, you can't really find one. This area does not seem like very good for gardening, so you do not find anything that kind of gives any indication on like that.
Can't we get the gardening for dummies?
Yeah,
Damn.
no
Yeah.
plant life or like even nothing about like plant life is even found here.
Did you say this is like a library slash
It's a
barter
library
kind of
slash
shop.
bookstore. Like there's like you can buy books here, but there's also like the library element as well. Library elements
Okay.
as well. Um, for the history check, um, I will roll a d4 to see which piece of information from the list you get, because you do not get all of it. Okay. You piece through some of these things. These are the writings of someone who is like going insane almost with how dedicated he is to like finding out what's going on. And the best you can piece together from some of this stuff is you see the phrase "the pack," like in a lot of his notes, and you assume that he is most likely referring to this group that is doing things as the pack. And you see he's using that reference because a lot of like the attacks he's seeing, he's associating more to like animal attacks, though there are like traces of like human footprints or like things like that. So it's like there are like elements of this group that is more animalistic, while there is parts that are also like humanoid. Knowing what you do after the encounter on the bridge, you assume that those hyena human hybrid things are most likely associated with this group. At least the one that he is looking into. You cannot fully piece together everything there. I'm gonna go with the natural 20 last because God. Elwyn, looking through, trying to find stuff about like various like rogue or assassin guild and stuff. You do find one that is an elven one that used to exist, that was a dragon marked family that were essentially paid spies and assassins. But after an event about 6 or so years ago where the wrong people paid them off to kill people, some of them turned themselves into the police. Others took what the book describes as the easy way out, in quotes, to avoid getting sent to prison, as an honor thing of like, well, I'd rather die than end up in prison for my job. But you do not see, like, outside of that, you don't really see anyone that are like getting paid to kill people. But you do there is note there that some groups do form in like service of gods of death, or in like, while they're not necessarily like guilds, they will like form cults or like groupings that worship gods of death or gods of betrayal, and assassination attempts are typically common from groups like that.
Any with this kind of sigil? That
This specific sigil, you do not find any association with those groups, even within 18, unfortunately.
damn.
With the natural 20, you begin flipping through books that are like specifically about these sigils, and you don't get a name for a group, but you do find what is the closest resemblance to this sigil that you can find. There's no like, there's reference of this sigil in history being used by varying groups, and every time it shows up, it is brutal savagery that surrounds it. Like, wars are broken out, like families are killed. It's always associated with like death and like destruction following it, but closer to like the destruction thing. Like, it's not killing for the sake of like trying to appease like a dark god. It's the sense of killing for the fun of killing.
Okay. How far back does it go, like in history?
It goes back to around the time of the what the world is called the Sovereign War, which essentially was a war between the good gods and the evil gods of this world that led to the splitting of the continent into these islands, which was about 700 years ago. There's traces of it showing up every 100 or so years. But there was never a name that they could pinpoint to it. It was just this symbol would appear. You guys kind of all reconvene and discuss the information, and the woman does go. If you'd like, you can spend more time looking. We do close in a few hours though. But if you would all want to, look together, it seems you all came in for a similar purpose. You can feel free. And basically, I will say, if you guys are willing to spend the next 4 hours just pining through all of this information together, you can learn the other things that you could learn from this room. But it would mean that you're spending the rest of the day here instead of pursuing any of these leads that you may have found.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Would Elwyn be informed about her missing husband? About the missing husband?
I assume that would have been brought up by
Arbitrium.
I'm still in the room looking for stuff.
Okay, yeah, so the lady is Josh is he is still looking. So if you guys would like to join him, feel free.
What is he looking for? Or where is he looking?
In my husband's study, I gave him access because my husband is indisposed at the moment, I think is the word for it.
Indisposed how?
Missing. I've notified some of the local Warforged, and they've tried to track him down, but to no avail yet.
What does your husband look like?
I mean, human man, glasses, gray hair, it's unfortunate to say, he doesn't really have any defining features that would set him out from, the crowd.
Ellen, can your dog pick up scents?
No.
That's not true. He can.
He can?
He literally has...
No, that's hearing and sight.
Yeah, he can smell, but he is not... The way he tracks is better from not... smell is not the best way for him to track. He does have the ability to smell, though.
He can. It's just not how he can track.
He's a better thing of hearing something in the distance, or if he sees something, he can keep pace and keep watching. That is his better way of tracking, is signs of it already in the area.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he'd be able to pick up a scent trail.
Are there any bartering shops nearby?
I mean, probably. You guys haven't really explored the town. You guys looked for a library first, and you came across this place, so you haven't really explored any.
I'm gonna go ask the librarian. Mm-hmm. That's the word. Librarian. If there's a bartering shop for weapons nearby.
I mean, probably. I'm not too familiar with all the weapon shops and stuff because that's not my line of work. I've never needed to buy a weapon. I mean, maybe with my husband missing, now I have a reason to, but...
Could you point me in the direction of the nearest one, or should I just go looking around?
I don't know where the nearest one would be. I've never needed to buy one.
But you are aware that there are some near here, correct?
I mean, there's most likely one in here. Because people feel the need to defend themselves.
Yeah.
Ellen's just gonna walk in the direction of the study.
Core, what do you do?
I'll follow suit.
Okay. So
I'll follow into the study too.
We're we're gonna spend our next quarters.
Yeah, it's essentially it's a thing of you guys have you've discussed the information you guys have, but you're all just it is better to go through this guy's notes thoroughly, is what it seems. Yeah. So some the other notes that you get in the past month, there have been 5 individuals that have disappeared from town without trace. You see in his notes he mentions a human boy, 2 girls, and this like mid-40s man have all disappeared from town. And then
who's the 5th one?
that him. You get this like
Okay.
there like there's that's what I'm saying, like the 4 he mentions the 4, so I'm saying in total you guys know there are 5 people that have gone missing from town.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure your math was math.
Yeah, it is. I know what I'm saying.
Okay.
There have been traces of blood that have been found in like the surrounding areas, like between Polro and Semnol, which is the city, kind of in the center of Drust. There have been like traces of blood on the path leading in that direction, but there were never blood traces in the locations that the people have been missing from, like in the homes of any of the individuals that have gone missing. There was no blood. They just disappeared without a trace. And slightly outside of town, this was one that he has a very faded, like drawing of. It looks like almost like a charcoal rubbing. There's a piece of wood that is he's kind of like sketched out onto a paper with a charcoal rubbing in the middle, and it is in yours, and yours. And all of you guys should be able to see the hand-carved symbol in your handouts and items.
Does this look like the piece of wood that was broken on the bridge?
No. It looks like just like a bigger piece of wood that like probably could like handle a carving. This carving is probably about like 10 or so inches across.
Okay.
As you see that kind of carving in is essentially a charcoal rubbing that he took from that piece of wood, but he sketched on where the wood was. He does not appear to have the piece of wood here.
Ominous.
So you now have the hand-carved symbol and the assassination portal sigil. You have 2 different symbols.
Yes.
By this point, the shop is closing. You've gotten like all the information you can from this, where essentially people have been missing. There's traces of blood, but not in the locations that people are missing from. And a symbol like this was found like carved into wood outside town. You all.
Were there any location notes or anything suggesting where the man might have gone?
I mean, the only mention of like there was a man that went missing from town who was like to fit the age description of the man that's missing, but the actual man you guys were chasing, there's no indication of like.
No, I mean the guy that was the gray hair crazy guy, the husband.
No, yeah, the crazy guy. There was no.
Is there where he went searching?
Like asking his wife, like she is like, yeah, he like just didn't return home one night. He was out researching outside of town. But so like they looked around like the town a little bit. They looked outside town, but there was no trace of like where he disappeared to.
Did it mention in his notes where he found that sigil?
It was slightly outside of town between Polar and Sentinel, so probably about an hour or 2 outside the city.
Where the blood was found, ish.
Blood was found in like the surrounding areas, like it was like outside of Polro in both directions, but most of it was in the direction of Semnol.
Okay.
So you guys leave the Polro Imports shop and bed down for the night in an inn. Everyone regain any spell slots you may have spent, any hit points that you may have lost. I don't think anyone did any other abilities that you have like finite uses per day.
Nope.
I don't know, like I don't remember what like you guys used, so I was like, yeah, anything. If you guys are missing anything, just make sure refill up to full. As it is now the next day.
I'm gonna rearrange my spell slots a little
Yeah,
bit.
that's the thing. If the two people who can change their spells per day would like to let me know if
I am just gonna switch out knock for shot,
cool.
and I'm going to switch out. I think I'm gonna switch out identify because I can cast it as a ritual.
You have to have it
Or
prepared to do it as a ritual still.
I do. Never mind. I'm gonna keep it then. I'll just take a magic missile then for grave sickness.
Okay. Flint, are you replacing anything?
I'm looking at my list.
Cool.
I'm definitely replacing detect poison and disease with inflict wounds.
Cool.
Oh my god, inflict wounds is so good.
I'm looking.
Yeah. It's so
I
powered for being a
think-
first level spell.
Yep.
Let me look. 1 second. I need to look up a spell.
Alright.
You just have to be within melee, that's the only downside.
Oh no.
Yeah. I just don't have any damaging anything.
Mm-hmm. Listen, it
Yeah.
makes sense your character did not have damage stuff prepared going into the festival. Like,
And also you don't
Yeah,
have
I mean
to
it
change
did, but like
spells.
also like given
Yeah.
your subclass, not having damaging stuff makes sense a little bit. Like,
yeah, but like yeah. I'm just gonna switch those two.
yeah, I mean, yeah, there's no harm. I'm not saying like you can't prepare. I was just like, it like
Yeah.
with your backstory and what you were planning on doing and stuff. Like, it didn't like not having damaging stuff. I'm like, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, and now that like I'm going on a mission to, hunt a guy that killed the queen, I think it makes sense to at least have one.
Yeah, maybe. Nah, you guys should all go with only non-damaging spells and see how that works.
Yeah. I'm gonna go and cast Prestidigitation, even though I don't have it. But like theoretically.
You have thaumaturgy.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to equip Prestidigitation 7 times.
Yes.
So yeah, you guys wake up the next day. It is now the 11th of Eliant. What is the plan for the day?
Should I also describe how Elwyn and Conry sleep?
Oh yeah, so that's the thing with this group. This is alright. So this is something I also cover. I didn't do it because you guys slept in an inn here, so I didn't cover it. When you guys do like camp out between cities, when you guys are just like bedding down for the night, Elwyn and Conry only need 6 hours of sleep.
And it's not even sleep.
It's not sleep. It's just somewhat deactivated. I will give you the same rule I gave the other Warforged in the other group. While you are like you're not, I think the phrasing is like you're like conscious but like inactive. Is a bonus action to reactivate if something were to attack during the night.
Okay.
And I feel like that is a fair thing because it doesn't specify, but I'm like, it's a bonus action to essentially reactivate yourself. And like, so you do still have like, in theory, like could wake up, but you also have the benefit of you can wear armor in your sleep.
Yep.
And it does not impede disadvantage on anything.
Mhm.
But yeah, so for the purpose of it though, people will, I don't want to ask every time you guys go to bed, like, oh, who's taking watches? But, the Warforged can essentially be a all-night watch. If you guys would like, just tell me if there's a certain night you would want to stay up for, like, 2 hours to do a watch.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. With the other group, there were 2 elves and a Warforged. So it was the first one takes 4 hours of being awake, the second one takes 4 hours of being awake, and the Warforged is awake for all but the first and last hour. I'm like,
Nice.
you have a watch the entire night, and like it's like it was great. But with this group, it's like the Warforged can essentially do all except the first or last hour, or can do all but the last 2, all but the first 2. So if there's like you guys think there's a reason to have someone take watch, just do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Cool. So you guys awake this day. What's the plan?
I am going to attempt to find a weapons barter shop.
Okay. Barter shop specifically, or like a blacksmith?
A blacksmith.
Okay, so you're not trying to barter, you're trying to buy.
Well, I'm not trying to buy
what's the
specifically, I'm just trying to
difference?
sell.
You're trying to okay, blacksmiths buy items as well.
Yeah.
Barter implies trade. That's why I'm like, are you trying to trade out your weapon?
Weapons
I
for
mean-
money.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
the-
you're going to the blacksmith.
Yeah.
Is anyone else going with him, or are you guys have other plans for what you're going to do in the city?
I have other plans.
Okay.
I do have one question
Mhm.
before I go in, though. Is this a place where people don't think highly of furbolgs, or
No,
is
I mean,
that just like universally?
No, I mean you haven't seen any like racism towards you.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
They're fluffy and big. Why would you hate them? Why
I
would
wasn't
anyone?
sure. I wasn't sure if some races do, because I feel like there's probably a race.
Probably, but
Not.
So what's everyone else's plan for the day before we go into what everyone's doing? I also assume you guys would
talked to
agree
the
to
innkeep.
meet back up before
Yeah.
like leaving town or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like meet back up at a certain time in a certain place. So
Mhm.
what's everyone else doing?
Can I talk to the innkeep?
Okay. So I'll have that as a thing. What about the other two?
I wanted to ask around town of, have you seen this man?
Okay. And then
Which man?
The
There are several missing men now.
that's true. There were 3 confirmed missing men.
the missing man that Elwyn was chasing, like
Okay,
her life
so-
depended on it
Okay,
yesterday.
So that guy, got it. Well, I wasn't sure because like asking where have you seen this man and talking about like the old guy, like the
That's who
yeah.
I'm more
the
interested in
husband,
right now.
That's why I was like both are valid questions.
The thing is, Elwyn has a confirmation on if that guy knows something.
And that guy is alive. You have confirmed that at least.
Yeah.
For
There is
now.
a possibility to ask him.
And last person, what's your plan?
I'm just gonna go with Elaine.
With Elwyn?
Yeah, with Ellen. I can't fucking pronounce names.
It's fine. Okay, so we will go with the blacksmith place first. You walk in, it's a human blacksmith, you know, as you'd expect, dressed.
Yeah.
You can see him like currently working on a sword. He like puts it in to like finish it and kind of turns his back to it as it's kind of working. Yeah. What can I help you with?
Hey, just here to sell a few things that I've acquired on my journeys.
All right. What do you have? What do you got to sell?
I have this light crossbow.
All right.
How much for the light crossbow and 20 bolts?
Let me check. See, he like looks at the condition that you have it in. I could probably give you 20 gold for all of it.
Could we do like 22?
20 is the highest I can go.
What do you think this is? Some kind of barter shop?
Yeah, no,
20 will do.
Yeah, 20 is the best I can do. For reference, items like weapons sell back for half their original price normally.
Yeah.
So technically, I should have given you only 13 for the bolts and the crossbow combined. But you have never used this thing, so I was like, all right, I will give you a slightly better deal.
It's in very new condition.
Yeah.
Okay. So adding 20 gold
Mhm.
and getting rid of like crossbow and bolts.
Yep.
Is a mace one-handed?
Yeah, mace is one-handed.
Okay. Can I use my player's handbook to look at the list of like weapons to see if I want to buy any?
I mean, sure. I mean, what kind of weapon you look? You could just in character ask like, and he can tell you what what weapon you might want to use.
I don't know like what's stronger than a mace, you know?
I mean,
Or like if a mace is the strongest I can get right now.
a mace is a D6. A great club is two-handed, and that's the only one that does more than a D6.
Okay, then I'll just stick with the mace.
Yeah.
I'll take my money and
I
leave.
mean, there's other ones like a quarterstaff. Well, a quarterstaff if you do two-handed does a D8.
I just want a
If you
one-handed weapon.
If you have a long sword and you wield it one-handed, it's a D8. But I don't know if you have proficiency
He
with
does
that.
not.
No.
Yeah. It's
Brought
only
to
war
being,
clerics
his
that do.
class. Shh, we don't know he's a cleric yet, guys. Shh.
Bruh.
I'm a what?
What?
I'm a who what now?
What?
Anyway.
I'm not a cleric. I'm a Clark with an
Yes,
A.
Clark.
a Clark.
Oh, come on.
You didn't have to do it like that. Come on.
Don't bully the dyslexic.
Oh no, it's fine. My favorite thing is after sessions going through the note sheets because I can see all the notes you guys take, and just being like, huh.
Oh, I put mine in a sepereate text document.
That's
for
I
my
did
own.
too.
that is smart to do because I will.
I did too.
Part of it is to make sure like
That's why I handwrite my notes.
yeah. Part of why I gave you guys this was like in case you guys like I know what things you guys remember is like part of that. But all right.
I can update it at the end. I just when I opened up like the notes thing, it looked like it was a whole thing to edit it.
Oh yeah, you just hit the edit button at the top of it.
Yeah, and it made it like weirdly small.
Yeah, no,
and I was like, I don't want to have to keep editing it, so I've just got my own text document. But I can fill in my notes
You don't have
at the
to.
end of every
if you guys
session.
are taking notes, like I don't care if you do here or not. I was just like I'm giving the option because then you don't have to have multiple tabs open. You can
I'm
essentially.
handwriting my notes.
I have so many tabs open.
I do too. I will go with now the two that are doing the asking around about the.
Can I meet up with them at some point?
Yeah, I mean,
like
yeah, it's the thing
after,
you guys would all agree
yeah.
to meet up after that.
like meet in the middle of them asking around, or would that not take enough time?
No, we'll have these all be separate events.
I'm having
Okay.
one conversation, so
Yeah, it's the thing of like I don't think any of these are gonna take long to do. So it's
as
like,
Elwin's
you'll-
could, depending
yeah.
on what happens.
we'll
but
see. So what do you
like
what
mine
do
is
you-
just one
yeah,
conversation.
what are you going up to? Like who are you are you trying to find a specific type of person like, or are you just looking for like the nearest like person?
Me?
No, the two people looking for the like to ask information about the missing person. Elwin and Cor.
Do we want to start with the other warforges, or should we ask around the fringes of town to see if anyone left?
I'm not sure.
All right, good start.
What do you think?
I think we'd have better luck with the warforges, honestly, seeing as you're one of them. I figure that it'd lend us an air of credibility.
I suppose so.
All right.
Oh,
Alright, off we go. Off we go.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're able to like. They're not extremely common here, like, but there is like a police force in every city to make sure people are like safe and stuff. So you're able to find like one or two warforged fairly quickly. They're like, like keeping watch of like the city and stuff, and they kind of see you approach. Yes, how may we help you guys?
We're looking for an individual who's reported missing over at the bookstore.
All right.
We were asked by the missing man's wife to locate him, and we're wondering if you have any leads or
Yeah,
anything like that as to his location.
Yeah, we heard about the Thurings and what happened there, but I mean, we weren't the ones that were sent out to look for him, but like from what we heard from some of the other people in the force, like there were some traces that like of blood outside the city that might have been his, but like we didn't see anything that would indicate that like it was him. But I mean, with all these, there's been a few other missing people as well, and it could have been any of them that we saw out there. But my guess would be, because we keep seeing them in the direction of Semnil, so I would assume something's going on between there.
And yesterday there was a man, human, mid-30s, longer black hair, who was running from, what was the name of the fucking center island?
Nyling.
Oh. He was running from Nyling across the bridge. Had a longer staff.
Oh no, well you remember, yeah, he did break the longer staff.
Oh, yeah.
That was how he first teleported. Was him breaking that. Yeah, we heard about that guy too. We also heard that like they took the staff in, but from what we heard, it didn't appear magical. It just appeared to be like wood, or like if it was magical, it was never used. Again, we're not too familiar with magic and they kind of gesture towards their guns. We have other ways of dealing with things, but from what some of the mages that they called in to investigate that, it didn't appear magic. So I'm not sure what that guy is, but I know I would be kind of worried to interact with that.
Do you know where he is or where he went?
I mean, no, we heard that he like fled from town towards this direction, but like we didn't see anyone pass through here. So he might have like skirted around the town, or he might have just like found a way through without us seeing. Because again, magic exists. He apparently knows how to do it some amount.
Do you know anybody who would know or would have seen him?
I mean, we weren't. Most people were in Nyling yesterday because of the festival, so I can't think of anyone specifically who would have seen him come through.
Understood.
Yeah, I apologize that we can't be more help, but like we're limited on what we saw because he just wasn't seen from our knowledge.
We'll have to go check around the outskirts of town. Then maybe he left some sort of trail that we can pick up.
I mean, best luck to you all.
Cool. Do you want to go and check out the blood trails?
We should meet back up with the others first.
I'm gonna do the conversation, and then I'm gonna have all you guys meet up, and then you can investigate the blood trail.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, so we look at the inn, and what did you want to talk to the innkeeper about? You see, it's a human woman, just kind of like she has like some like breakfast stuff prepared because there was like breakfast provided for those who stayed at the inn. She's kind of clearing that stuff out.
Hello, love. I'm new around here, and I know if you ever want to find anything out, you got to talk to the person with the ear on the ground. I've heard there's a bit of a missing persons issue going around.
Yeah, we had a few people. I think most recently was the librarian's husband.
I heard about that. Absolutely tragic. How'd you know him well?
I mean, I'd gone there a few times because like there's people like it's a library and like people use like research. So we've had people who come in here who get stuff from that store, talk about it. But they're natives here, so they don't like ever stay here in my inn. But besides that, like I had a few interactions. They were friendly, but I mean the man was a bit like off, but that was because from what I heard, he does research, so I assume he was just kind of obsessed with that stuff.
I don't suppose you had any idea where he was headed last time, do you?
I mean, I know he was investigating some stuff outside the town, from what I heard, because like with those other missing people, there were traces of stuff outside the town, but
yeah, closer to Seminole, right?
Yeah, I mean, in that direction, just like down the road a little bit, but outside of that, I can't really say what else he got up to.
How about the pack? You ever heard anything about that?
I can't say I have. I mean, I assume it has something to do with animals, but outside that, like, not really any knowledge there.
That's all right. I don't suppose you recognise this symbol at all. And I'll do the wood one. The scratch marks.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume again it has something to do with animals. Those look like claw marks there, but I can't tell what that thing in the center is. But those things on the side definitely look like claw marks. Yeah, that's all I can really say.
What about this one? I'll show the other sigil. What are you doing?
I mean, nah, I really can't piece anything together from that.
Oh, that's all right, love. I appreciate your time nonetheless.
Yeah. Yeah, so you all meet up again, kind of with all except for the person who went to the weaponsmith, essentially just going, yeah, we should probably head towards Semnal. It is a, let me check to make sure. It is an 8-day journey to Semnal, so recommendation is to get a cart. Who would drive it? Keep in mind these are like quote unquote self-driving, like they are horseless. But
Who would have the most experience with it?
I mean, well, it goes down to stat-wise. If anyone has land vehicle proficiency, they would know how to use these well. But it's essentially
Land
just,
vehicle proficiency.
yeah, land vehicle proficiency is its own separate thing.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, I know my background is knight, but I don't think.
Spoilers?
Oh, it's a spoiler! I fucking work for the royal family!
I work for the royal family as a guard, and they gave me the title of knight. It's like, wow, what a surprise. No. Yeah, I mean, that's like, it's like, you've been in the carriage before, but you've never been the one, like, in charge of driving.
Would I have experience with it?
No, probably not either. Like, you probably have, like, more of, like, a horse-drawn one that you used to, like, bring, like, produce and stuff to other areas, but, like, these, like, not necessarily mechanical ones, but they're like, you know, horseless ones. They're a bit difficult. It's just the thing of like, if I ever have you guys make a check, if you have land vehicle proficiency, you can like add your proficiency bonus again to the check. That's the only benefit. So it's like really anyone can. It's just who wants to be the one driving.
I'll be the one driving.
Cool. So as you guys make your way out of the city in this cart, you do see like there are like as you guys are driving down this road like for a little bit, you do see there's like faint traces of like blood on some of the grass. There's like what appear to be like human footprints that you've seen, and like these are all the same of what you'd expect from like what you were told in town. They're all heading in the direction towards Semnil. I would like everyone to make perception checks, and that includes Conry. And Conry gets advantage.
Yep.
Because it is a
just regular perception.
Yeah, just regular perception, except for Conry. Conry gets advantage.
Nat 20, baby.
Yeah, Nat 20 is very good.
Okay.
Yeah, the person driving got two people got low numbers.
One moment.
All
Gotta
right,
get
The same number.
Conry. Perception.
19. Okay, cool. Oh, I actually get to describe him for once this time. We'll get to what you see as with the natural 20, but Core and then Conry, which Conry's just kind of like sitting, and then you see him just bolt upright, and his like tail goes straight, and he just turns forward towards like where the cart is driving, and his eyes like essentially like elongate to become like almost binocular type. And this is where I will inform the party as well as Amy, who I did not tell her this was gonna happen. When Conry succeeds on rolls, like his body will adjust to like benefit that roll essentially. So it's like he got a 19 on perception, so he's like enhanced. For example, if he succeeds on a bite attack, he will get like an extra row of teeth for that bite if he like crits or something. Like there are things I will describe, or like if he has a strength save, he succeeds like a strength save, and you just see his like he like grows these long claws that dig into the ground that stop him from moving or something. Like I have a few things for it, but yeah.
He augments.
Binoculars.
He augments his body after, like, essentially to describe what happened. So yeah.
Does the Transformer sound effect play?
God no. But yeah. So, Core and Conry, they both just hear it first and then see these like these familiar hyena humanoid mixtures kind of rushing from the side of the cart, like rushing towards you guys. Arbitrum, you see this too, and you see that one of them has this like bow and arrow with them, while the rest all have spears, and one of them has this, what looks to be from the distance he's currently at, but he is vastly closing that distance, what looks to be just a large, like, stick with a sword on the end of it. So it's a very long sword. And these things look hungry. As these things are rushing towards the cart. And that is where we'll end the session.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Let's go.